Gil Santos and Bob Cousy live back here at the Mecca in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. They've just awarded Ricky Pierce the NBA Sixth Man of the Year award for the 1986-87 season. There's Pierce, who had a great season for the Bucks, and in the playoffs is averaging 16 points a game against the Celtics, or overall in the playoffs. The Bucks have won 3 and lost 4 in the playoffs so far this season. The Celtics are unbeaten in the playoffs at 5-0, and in fact, counting the last 4 games of the regular season, all 4 games that the Celtics really had to win in order to end up with the best record in the conference. The Celtics have now won 9 games in a row, Coos. We were talking on top about what the Celtics had to do to extend that to 10 in a row and a 3-game lead here in this one, and what Milwaukee had to do in order to prevent that from happening. So I guess what you're saying is the team that is able to control the tempo tonight to their liking is the team that's going to win.
Yeah, in my opinion it is. Bob Gamere was talking with, I guess it might have been Don Nelson or Stu Inman about the small unit and what you do to counteract it. I'm sorry, it was Jimmy Rogers. In any event, in the past, we have ignored that small unit. Nelly thinks that that's his best unit, okay? And a lot of teams try to respond to that. In other words, go with a small unit of their own. The Celtics, when their big guys are all healthy, have ignored it because the big guys have the quickness to get the job done. This is not the case tonight with Walton out and McHale subpar. So they may have to adjust to that small unit. One way to somewhat neutralize the effectiveness of that unit is to play slow down. This neutralizes their speed and quickness. Also, the Milwaukee weakness, if they have one, it's not a glaring one, is their shooting or lack of it. They're only shooting it at 46%. When you play slow down in a game that they must win, it increases the pressure on mediocre shooters, makes it even more difficult for them to do their thing. And thirdly, as we said on top, you know, they have to create a transition game. They've got to supplement that inside game that they don't really have with an up-tempo game. Lucas, since he joined the team, they were shooting at 45%. Since he joined the team, they're shooting at 49%. That simply means that they're getting more easy basket as a result of his penetration. So again, a slowdown somewhat takes those baskets away from them. So for all of those reasons, I believe it's in our, best interest, obviously, to try to walk it up the court, also control that defensive board, as we said. You know, that's the first order of priority. And forget the transition unless we have a breakaway, or send Robert down. Robert is going to beat on that Parrish release play. He's going to beat Sikma or Brewer down, or Mokeski down, once or twice or 3 times a game.
He'd beat them all 3 if they ran a relay.
Yeah, exactly. So, look for this kind of a breakaway, but forget your fast break if it's not necessary. And this crowd, as you can listen to now, try to take them out of the game, and a way to do that is play slow down. Don't play up-tempo.
The Celtics starting Fred Roberts at a forward position tonight in place of Kevin McHale. Now, we don't know if that means that Kevin had a problem during the warm-ups, and we don't know if the Celtics had intended to start Roberts all along, or whether McHale came up late during the warm-ups or not. We don't think that's the case. However, just prior to the introduction of the starting lineups, McHale went trotting off into the locker room. Right now, you can see they're having a big celebration to introduce the Milwaukee starting 5. But McHale is coming back on the floor now. So he went in the locker room briefly and is coming back out now. So Fred Roberts will be starting in a forward position. Okay, here's how the series has gone so far, with the Celtics winning 111-98 and 126-124. The Celtics are averaging 118.5 points a game. Milwaukee 111 points a game. The Celtics are shooting it at 53.5%. Milwaukee at only 44.6 against the Celtics in this series. The Celtics 84% at the foul line, 73 attempts in the 2 games. Milwaukee 87% at the line, but only 60 attempts in the 2 games. 13 fewer, that's 6.5 per game, Booze. Very indicative of the fact that Milwaukee is a jump shooting rather than an inside team. The only area where the Celtics are being hurt is in the rebounding, where Milwaukee has 40.5 rebounds per game. The Celtics at 36 over the first 2 games. The steals are even, each team with 10. The Celtics have blocked 4.5 shots per game, 9 in the first 2 games. They're the starting lineup for the Celtics. And next for the Milwaukee Bucks. The Bucks have blocked just 6 shots in the 2 games played. Turnovers, the Celtics at only 16, the Bucks at 17. Our officials on your left, Tommy Nunez. Jack Madden is in the middle, Bill Sarr on your right. is the alternate. 3-point shots in this series so far for the Celtics. They are 6 of 13. Danny Ainge 4 of 7. Larry Bird 2 of 4. Milwaukee has taken more 3-point attempts than the Celtics, 19, but they've hit only 4. Starting lineup for the Bucks: Lucas and Moncrief are the guards, Pressey and Cummings the forwards, Sikma the center. The Celtics are going with Ainge, Johnson, Parrish, Roberts, and Larry Bird.
Both of these clubs, Gil, have an abundance of three-point shooters, and one thing we might look for, this requires both teams to pick up a little sooner defensively than they might normally do against a team that doesn't have that kind of three-point threat on their team. But the Celtics certainly can shoot it from out there, and so can the Bucks.
First shot goes, and the Bucks lead 2-0. Now the full court press on the Celtics on the inbounds play after the made basket. Danny Ainge, who had such a great game in Game 2 with 30 points. And Dennis Johnson, who has been so consistent in this playoff series, in the entire playoffs so far. Bird, nice move for 2. Ties the game at 2-2, and we have played just 30 seconds here in Milwaukee. Moncrief. Blocked by Roberts. We're going to get a foul on Fred Roberts. That's an area, Coos. Fouls where I think the Celtics might find themselves in trouble tonight as we take another look at this.
That's what you're going to see them do. You're going to see Moncrief, Pressey, Cummings, and Lucas all taking it to the basket.
Do you think it's possible, I think it is, that the Celtics could have a problem tonight in terms of fouls being called against them because of all of the squawking they did after Game 2?
Well, I think that pretty much with the flap that was involved, I think that's going to mean we're not going to get any breaks here. We normally wouldn't expect to anyway. But this, again, without being redundant, this is why the slowdown helps you in this respect, too. You will not generally pick up as many, fouls and get people in foul difficulty.
Larry Bird in the miss. The rebound is tipped out of bounds by Milwaukee. Moncrief and Sikma not communicating well at all. Banged into each other. It'll be Celtics ball. Milwaukee leads 3-2 here in the opening minute of play.
That'll happen when you get a little over-anxious. Everybody wanting to do it themselves. Normally it's the reverse. Sometimes you've got to identify someone to do it. Parrish.
Boy, there's a man who's having a superb playoffs. Robert averaging 19 points a game, 9.5 rebounds, and in 5 games he's blocked 13 shots. John Lucas takes it right down the lane, and Milwaukee goes back on top at 5-4.
Well, the help defense wasn't there on that one. That should not happen. Lucas should not get in there uncontested without getting help from one of the big guys.
Bird finds Parrish again. Sikma's on him. Robert rolls on him. Misses the shot. The rebound to Terry Cummings. Off to Lucas.
Ainge finding Lucas early. They're trying to deny him. They'd like to keep the ball out of his hands, force someone else to start the play if they can. That's not always easily done.
Ainge back for the Celtics. Danny averaging 17 a game in the playoffs. Boston on a 9-game winning streak right now. Fred Roberts carries it. Hey, Fred has been a big contributor in this series.
I think that's why Casey started him. He wants to get him in a starting lineup. He feels that.
That's the second time in a row Lucas has penetrated like that. What are the Celtics not doing, Coos?
Well, again, without beating a dead horse, the big guys have got to be more alert to that penetration. They know that's the strain of his game. They've got to give DJ help on him. Or Ainge. Ainge has got him.
Lucas, it is 2-on-2. He hits. And Milwaukee leads 9-6. 9 minutes and 40 seconds to play here. 6 points in this first quarter run for John Lucas of the Milwaukee Bucks. And the Celtics want a 20-second timeout. So with a 20-second timeout on the floor, we'll tell you you're watching the world champion Boston Celtics on Channel 56. This program is authorized under telecasting rights granted by the Boston Celtics solely for the entertainment of our audience. Any publication, rebroadcast, or other use of the pictures, descriptions, and accounts of this game without the express written consent of the Boston Celtics and WLVI-TV is prohibited. Now, Lucas off to a smoking start with 6 of Milwaukee's first 9 points. The Bucks lead at 9-6.
So far, they haven't done a good job, the Celtics, getting back on a transition. The tempo has been in Milwaukee's favor, I would think, and they have allowed Lucas to penetrate.
Ainge from outside. Reach out, rebound, slapped around. It's picked up by Terry Cummings. The Bucks breaking quickly. Ahead to Moncrief. He couldn't gain control, and now Lucas wheels it back around, and the Bucks restart their offense. Pressey for 3. Tell you what, I'd let him take that shot all night long.
Yeah, he hit a big one in Boston in the second game, got him back to close in the last minutes, but I agree. He's not that much of a factor from out there.
DJ brings the Celtics back to within a point with 9 minutes to play in the first quarter. Moncrief slides right by for an easy 2. Celtics do not appear to be as alert defensively here in the early going as they have been. Roberts making the move and missing the shot. Lucas pushing it up quickly for the Bucks. Pressey low to Cummings. That's going to be short. Rebound Bird. 11-8. Milwaukee by 3. 8.5 minutes left here in the first quarter. Down low to Robert Parrish, and a whistle and foul on the Milwaukee Bucks on Jack Sikma. For Milwaukee, that is their first team foul, the first personal on Jack Sikma. The Celtics have one team foul as well. DJ trying to go around Moncrief, changes his mind. Oh, look at that.
Beautiful.
Great move by Dennis Johnson, because it was like a blind pass.
Well, you know, they've worked that so effectively between the two of them. Normally, it's coming off the pick for Bird. That time, he had established a position and sealed his man in, so DJ just had to get it to him, but it was still a tough pass.
Bird knocked that ball out of Cummings' hands. It comes out to Sikma. Rebound into the hands of Danny Ainge, and the Celtics have a 4-on-2. DJ to Chief.
Nice.
Beautiful work. 12-11. Celtics up by a point. 7:50 to go here in the first quarter of play. First Celtics fast break opportunity of the evening, and they took advantage when it showed. A year ago, the Celtics took the Bucks out in 4 straight. But this past regular season, Milwaukee won all 3 games here by an average of 11 points a game.
Well, give Sikma that one all day. Really surprised to see that. I think Don Nelson is as well. That brings him off the bench.
Pretty good outside shooter, but I think he's beyond his range on those last 2.
15 to 16 feet if you're a big guy. He's a 7-footer. That's fine if the defense isn't guarding you. If the defense is out there, then you have no business even shooting that one.
Robert Parrish gets it out to Dennis Johnson. 4 on the shot clock. Takes it in. He is fouled. He'll be at the line for 2 shots. Celtics that time winding the 24-second clock down.
It is. DJ getting his defensive man up in the air. He's very good at exploiting that situation. He's always looking for the best possible opportunity. Here's bringing it in, thinking about laying down to Robert. The opportunity doesn't open up, so he takes it in himself.
Dennis having a superior 1987 playoff season so far. He's averaging 19.8 points a game, 8 assists per game, and he's hitting his free throws at 92%. Cousy, you said early on top that the Celtics should slow things down tonight. Are they doing it so far, in your opinion?
They got the one transition basket to Robert Parrish a moment ago when the opportunity opened up. I can't see that they're slowing down, you know, by design, but so far they really haven't been running it down there that effectively. So
Celtics, by the way, have just had a 6-0 run stop. They had gone from an 11-8 deficit to a 14-11 lead on a 6-0 run. Now Bird floors Pressey, and the foul is called on Larry Bird, an offensive foul, as Pressey was leaning all over him, and Larry just flattened him. And now there is a timeout taken on the floor with 6:37 to go. Here in the first quarter, it's the Celtics 14, Milwaukee 13. Saturday and Sunday nights, get more of the right news at the right time. Join Joe Shortsleeve and Odetta Rogers for weekend editions of the News at 10 here on WLVI-TV. John Lucas and Ricky Pierce for Milwaukee, as Pierce has replaced Paul Pressey in the Bucks lineup. Now they continue to go with the actually 3-guard offense, and I suspect that'll put Pierce on Bird defensively, or maybe Moncrief on Bird.
McHale in there.
Kevin McHale checking in for the Celtics, replacing Fred Roberts.
This should give the Celtics a little more help inside now in terms of those penetrators, with both Parrish and McHale helping out.
3-pointer for John Lucas. 16-14, Milwaukee comes back with a 5-0 run after the Celtics had hit them with a 6-0 run. That's the 5th 3-pointer of this series, 4th rather, for Lucas.
Lucas has that kind of range. He's only shooting it at 200% from out there, but you still have to respect his ability to shoot it.
Comes low to Cummings, who wheels on Ames for 2. Foul, and the basket counts, so Milwaukee has a 7-0 run going right now. Take another look at it.
This man won't beat you with finesse, but he'll certainly beat you with muscle, jumping ability, excellent shooter. As we said, he doesn't handle a trap all that well. He tries to beat it rather than hitting the free man, so you want to try to hit him with double team pressure as quickly as you can.
All right, Milwaukee now leading 19-14. Ames from outside knocks it down and ends a Milwaukee 8-0 run.
First hoop for Danny.
5 minutes and 40 seconds to play here in the first quarter. 19-17 Milwaukee. Is that a three? Is that a three-pointer, Cousy? Yes, it was. They gave him a three-pointer on that. On the Danny Ainge basket. 21-17. I thought he was inside the line from our angle. Well, he gave Danny his, see now, 5th three-pointer of the playoffs.
Let's not call it to their attention, okay?
Yeah. Milwaukee back leading 21-17. Moncrief out of control, loses the ball, but gets it back. Lucas driving through, rebound Robert Parrish. Bird is outletted down the floor all alone. Draws the fake and couldn't draw the foul.
Good job by Robert identifying the breaking Bird quickly and disentangling himself, because Milwaukee likes to hit that rebounder with defensive pressure and still making the accurate pass.
21-19 on the basket by Bird. Celtics down by 2. 4:40 to go here in the first quarter.
So important for those rebounders to come out of that pack, looking for free men. Not many do it.
Oh, coming way beyond his range, and the Celtics commit a foolish foul.
Plus, that's where he had the trap. He will do that. He fights the trap, fights the pressure, usually will take a bad shot. Not a real smart player in that respect. As we said on top, he won't beat you with finesse, but he has great physical talent, and he will muscle you to death.
Cummings misses the front end of the 2-shot foul. He's just a 66% free throw shooter here in the playoffs as well as in the regular season. He gets 1 out of the 2. So it is 22-19, Milwaukee by 3. We've had several lead changes already in this first quarter. Seems to me, Coos, that with some 4.5 minutes left in the first quarter, the Celtics, as DJ buries his 3rd shot from outside, the Celtics have pretty well withstood the early adrenaline push of the Bucks.
To tell you the truth, I didn't really see that kind of intensity on defense on their part. They did not come out as you might anticipate.
The miss by Pierce, the rebound by Parrish, the outlet to Kevin McHale, a rainmaker. Kevin can't hang on to it.
That was not a good pass. The idea was good. Kevin had a step on the field, but the execution was a little weak. I think Robert knows it.
Tell you what, when you overthrow McHale, you've overthrown the ball. 1-point lead, Milwaukee. 3 minutes, 45 seconds left, first quarter. Sikma gets it in low, but Bird got his hands in front of Moncrief, and we're going to get a whistle and foul.
A late one, too, as a matter of fact.
Jack Madden calls the foul on Larry Bird for knocking the ball away from Moncrief.
There was contact, but it was incidental, and obviously the kind of contact that has been let go in this very physical series so far.
That is the 4th team foul on the Celtics, the 2nd on Bird. Milwaukee has just 2 team fouls. Moncrief in trouble, getting it back out to Ricky Pierce. Pierce, the NBA 6th man of the year this year.
He's done a fine job. He's their best inside
Parrish. Loose ball foul, Milwaukee. Oh, no! Going to be given to Parrish. That'll put Milwaukee at the line. Let's see if this one...
Well, with both men going for the ball, and that's their right, generally, again, they won't make that call either way. They'll let them bounce off each other because there's no intent on either player other than playing the ball, so they generally will not call that. However, not the case.
Well, what should have been a non-call was made a call and a foul against Parrish, putting the Bucks at the line. Moncrief missing the first one as you look at the team fouls. Sikma out. Randy Brewer in for Milwaukee. Bucks leading 22-21. And one more shot for Sidney Moncrief. He gets 1 of the 2, and the Bucks have a 2-point lead. Ainge easily getting by Lucas. And he gets it to Robert Parrish high. Ainge again. And he through the middle. The runner, no, but he is fouled, and he'll be at the line shooting 2, as Milwaukee has just picked up its 3rd team foul. This is on Terry Cummings, and that's his first personal foul. More changes for the Bucks now. I tell you, they're like a hockey team. They change on the fly. Going to have Craig Hodges and Paul Pressey coming in momentarily.
Nelly likes to use his personnel. We told you about the small unit, but he likes to keep everyone involved. He likes to do it to confuse the opponent. I think you heard Jimmy Rogers say that that's their intent. And I think the best approach has been Casey's over the last few years is simply ignoring it. You know, normally you want to respond to mismatch situations. To some degree, you have to pay attention to what he's doing, but you just go with your best and don't really pay that much attention to what he's doing with his personnel.
Celtics tied on Danny Ainge's 2 free throws with 3 minutes to go in the first quarter. At 23 apiece, Paul Pressey inside, Ricky Pierce on the inside for 2. Puts the Bucks back up 25-23. Fred Roberts is in, replacing Larry Bird. Parrish trying to wheel on Brewer, does no. Rebound coming. Outlet to Craig Hodges.
Hodges is a shooter. You got to find him early. Has great range.
Here's Cummings from downtown.
And not a bad range for a 6'8" power forward either.
Milwaukee by 4, 27-23. Ainge trying to get it to McHale low, but the ball is stripped out of his hands by Craig Hodges. Pierce takes it back, and Ainge comes up from behind to knock the ball out of bounds.
Good pursuit by Danny, getting back into the play. This team leads the league in steals. You've got to be careful and protect that ball when they're on you tight.
Time out on the floor. 2:21 left to play. First quarter. The Bucks have a 4-point lead. At the Mecca, the Bucks are leading the Celtics by 4. What's happening in Detroit, Bob Gamere?
Well, Gil, it's Detroit by 10, 74-64 with 4 minutes to go in the third period. And that's the thing about the playoffs this year. A lot of teams think they really have a chance. Back now to Gil and Bob.
Celtics bring Bird back in. Kite also comes in. So is Bird, Kite, Ainge, Johnson, and McHale. Hodges. And the Bucks have run 6 in a row on the Celtics at 29-23. First basket of the game for Craig Hodges. He's back for the Celtics. Bill Walton out of tonight's game and Sunday as well.
Greg Kite seeing his first action in this series.
Reach in by Mokeski. McHale got the ball back, and he is flushed as he goes up for the shot, so he'll be at the line shooting 2. Milwaukee's 5 out there right now. Hodges with Pierce, Pressey, Brewer, and Mokeski. Watch McHale get squashed.
Yeah, there's no question Kevin's mobility inside is affected by his foot injury. He's able to reach for the ball, then winds himself up, brings it back into the pack quickly, picks up the foul by Mokeski, who's had already a very emotional day. Ball responding very emotionally to the Chargers level this morning at the press conference, so you don't know whether that's going to be a downer for a plate or an upper. Let's see.
1 out of 2 for Kevin McHale to break Milwaukee's 6-0 run. Bird and Johnson are the Celtics high scorers with 6 points apiece at this point. 29-24 Bucks. Brewer, no. Johnson went after it, out of bounds off the Bucks. It'll be Boston ball. Seestein has been quiet so far in the playoffs, Cousy. He really hasn't hit his shooting stride.
I don't know if he's gotten that many minutes, really, but...
Backdoor to Bird. Blocked by Brewer. Fine defensive play. Hodges. No. We're going to get another foul on the Celtics.
This team generally is not regarded to have a shot blocker in there, but if they do have one who has the physical talent, it is Brewer, so you've got to be careful. Here's Pierce finishing it off on the other end and picking up the Kite foul.
So that one went to Dennis Johnson, because he gave Johnson the foul on that one. Yeah.
On the replay, it was Kite.
Yeah, I know it.
Okay.
First one on DJ, and Pierce is shooting 2. He's a 77.5% foul shooter in the playoffs so far this year.
This is what kept them in the game in Boston in the second game. They shot it over 90%.
Yeah, they're 32 or 35.
Not a bad free throw shooting team for the year. I think they were about 76 or 77%. But they shot lights out in Boston in that second game.
Both free throws go for Pierce, and it's 31-24. Milwaukee with its biggest lead, 7 points, with a minute and a half to go in the first quarter. DJ being pressured by Pierce. Now Kite. Gets it back to Johnson. Trying to get it low to McHale. Kevin swoops in for 2.
Kevin McHale.
Nice bounce pass to McHale for that hoop. 31-26 Milwaukee. Time remaining, 1 minute and 5 seconds left.
That is Kevin's first hoop, by the way, of the game, so they haven't been able to go into him. Brewer outside.
Brewer had the game of his life against the Celtics here earlier this season.
33-26 Milwaukee.
50 seconds left in the first quarter. Bird springs free. Baseline goes to McHale with just a beautiful bounce pass. And it's 33-28. 5 points now for Kevin. 40 seconds left in the quarter. Pressing has it blocked. Kite gets it off to Jerry Seaskin. Celtics push it up. Down by 5. DJ comes around the Kite pick. Is open. Is not get it. Kite tips it in.
Good work.
Outstanding by Greg Kite. Move that wide body right into position to tip it in, and it's 33-30 as the Celtics narrow Milwaukee's lead to 3 points with 20 seconds left in the first quarter. Now there's a 4-second differential between the time clock and the shot clock here in this first quarter. Milwaukee now has 5 seconds to get a shot. To get it to Brewer, not a good choice. Bird gets it. 4 seconds. Celtics with plenty of time. DJ. It's good!
Yes!
And he is fouled. How about that one? DJ looking for a three-pointer on that. But I think they're going to give him just the 2. He was fouled as he got the shot away. Wait a minute. They do give him a 3. That tied it at 33. And he's got a chance for a 4-point play.
Could be a big psychological turnaround here.
I should say.
Milwaukee takes a bad shot. They wound it down, milked the clock, looking not to give Boston another opportunity, and it worked out just the opposite.
A 4-point play at the buzzer by Dennis Johnson, and look at this. The Celtics lead 34-33 after 1. Play back in here at Milwaukee. The Celtics with an 8-0 run at the end of the first quarter, taking the lead in this ball game. Kite works hard for the rebound, but is forced out of bounds, and it'll be Milwaukee ball. Coos, that 8-0 Celtics run in the final minute of the quarter from a 33-28 deficit to a 34-33 lead could be a big psychological factor, as you're saying.
How to take a little wind out of the Milwaukee sails, obviously. They figured to come out of here with a 4-5, maybe bigger lead at the quarter, and deserved it. But most of the quarter, they outplayed Boston. In any event, big play by Greg Kite, setting up the pick for DJ, and then coming in, tipping in, and then the DJ play at the end didn't allow all that to happen.
Dennis Johnson's 4-point play, giving the Celtics the lead at 34-33. Bird with Pressey on him. Kite sets the pick. Pressey does a good job fighting for it. Bird trying to work. One-on-one action, looking to set up. Ball away. No. Rebound Pressey.
When you
Bird steals it. Oh, boy.
Nice
job. 2-on-1.
2-on-1. Lay it down.
DJ.
Take it in. Okay. Faked them off with a little look to Bird. Took it in himself. 12 points for DJ now, having an exceptional first half here.
36-33 as the Celtics are now in the midst of a 10-0 run on the Milwaukee Bucks.
I start to say, when you can force Bird to that fall away pop, he makes it a lot, and it's part of his repertoire. You've really gotten the job done defensively.
The 10-0 Boston run is stopped on that hoop by Pressey. 36-35 Celts. Dennis Johnson trying to move, get it to McHale. Kevin brings the jumper home. And it's 38-35 Celtics. They've outscored Milwaukee 12-2 in the last 3 minutes of play.
They're not giving McHale the kind of defensive pressure I thought they might to try to, capitalize on the fact that he's not 100%.
Got an offensive foul going to be called on the Bucks.
25.
That's going to be on Paul Pressey. And that's his first personal foul. Offensive fouls do not count as team fouls, however. Celtics have Johnson, Ainge, Kite, McHale, and Bird out there. Milwaukee with Pierce, Hodges, Pressey, Brewer, and Cummings. Bird trying to swing around a bit. Down to 8 on the shot clock. McHale takes it to the basket, rolls it in, no, rebound off of Kite's foot. Greg had the good position, then lost it off his foot. It'll be Milwaukee ball. Celtics leading by 3 points. Sikma back in for the Bucks, replacing Brewer. Milwaukee, Coos, not playing with the kind of all-out abandon that I expected from them.
I'm surprised. They did not come out with the intensity we expected defensively. That's where it reflects itself when the team is really high. Cummings with a good job penetrating the basket, but you know, it's easy to get down the floor offensively. When you're really up emotionally for the game and ready to go the extra mile, it is reflected defensively rather than on the offensive end.
Seastein. This is the jumper, the rebound, McHale. Kevin fighting for it and lays it back in. Good work off the offensive boards for Kevin McHale. Celtics leading at 40-37, just under 9 minutes to play in the first half. Outside Pierce, he answers. 40-39, Celtics by 1. 8 points for Ricky Pierce here in the first half. Seastein, and now Bird. Got Pressey on him. Pressey knocks it away. It's picked up by Ricky Pierce. He'll take it all the way.
Fell asleep that time. Bird thought that DJ was going to go for the loose one, and DJ obviously thought Bird was going to pop out. Neither one did. Pierce took advantage of it.
Well, the Bucks retake the lead at 41-40. Good basketball game. Both clubs being quite patient offensively. Dennis Johnson trying to post up Hodges. Swings by him like he wasn't even there. 14 points for DJ here in the first half. And what a great game he's having on a day where he had to answer charges that he said were unsubstantiated and couldn't understand the reason why.
Yeah, we speculated.
He really responded like
absolutely.
the pro that he is.
Speculated a moment ago how Mokeski was going to react. DJ, under similar circumstances, have done an outstanding job here early in the game.
Good offensive board work again by McHale, and he gets fouled. He'll be at the line to shoot 2.
I'll tell you what, Celtics certainly in this quarter have physically dominated the game and shown a lot more aggressiveness both on the boards and defensively than Milwaukee has.
Yes. Kevin McHale is going to shoot 2 for the Celtics. Robert Parrish is back in, and Greg Kite sits down. And Danny Ainge is in, replacing, let's see, Dennis Johnson. Has he gone out? I'm trying to find him out there. Now, DJ sat down. So Ainge and Parrish are back in. DJ sits down for his first rest. And a good job by Greg Kite while he was in there.
Certainly did. Found the openings. And this is what, you know, if the defense doesn't give him the respect offensively that they might, this opens up opportunities for a player like that. But you've got to exploit them. In other words, they'll trap off him. Whoever's guarding him will roam. And that opens up situations. And Greg was able to take advantage of it.
Going to get a foul on Jerry Seastein prior to the shot. So it's a possession foul. The first on Seastein, the first on the Celtics as a team. Inbounds pass, and McHale is going to be called for holding Terry Cummings. A very obvious foul.
That could be 2 if the ball was not inbounded.
It had been, yeah. So they're going to put it in play on the side. Watch this.
Yeah, see, he sealed Kevin in nicely there. Kevin knew he was beat, so he figured, well, let me grab on a little bit here.
That is the second foul on McHale. Pierce on the baseline, back outside, Cummings. Now Sikma. Sikma trying to wheel on Parrish. No, rebound, slapped around. Boy, I tell you, they're banging bodies. Sikma comes up with it. Very physical game. Pierce blocked by Parrish, jump ball.
Good job.
I tell you, Parrish is just playing so superbly through these playoffs.
Well, you know, we've been telling the folks, watch this. Robert just stays home and waits for the smaller 6'5" man to come to him. And then with the good timing, just responds to the ball.
Now we have a whistle, and the ball will go over to Milwaukee, usually saying that Parrish beat the jump. Apparently he is. Now Madden calls Parrish for going up before the ball went up, and it's turned over to Milwaukee. They don't get the basket out of it, but they do draw a foul.
And again, the penetration.
Hale, that's 3.
The penetration is so far in this game what has hurt the Celtics. See Kevin a little slow making the lateral transition here, helping out Bird, who was guarding Pierce on initially. And that's all a good penetrator needs. If you're a little slow responding to the offensive move, why, it gives him an edge.
Ricky Pierce shooting 2 for the Milwaukee Bucks. 7:02 to go here in the first half. 44-42. Fred Roberts back in for the Celtics. McHale goes out. Kevin, while he was in there,
Number 3, Dennis Johnson.
to check how many points Kevin had while he was in there. I think he had 7. He had 11. 11 points and a couple of big offensive rebounds. One more free throw for Pierce. Roberts comes back in, replacing McHale. The Celtics led at the end of the first quarter by 1, 34-33, thanks to an 8-0 run. Parrish, the rebound, the ball slapped around. Ainge trying to keep it in play. And it's going to be called out of bounds off Danny Ainge. Celtics not getting any breaks at all in this first half. Here's a look at it. Roberts tried to keep it in play, but was out of bounds with it. All righty now. 6:57 left to play. First half at Milwaukee with the Celtics leading the Bucks by a pair. The third annual Celtics cruise will be leaving for Bermuda on August 16th. 7 days of sun and fun with the world champion Celtics. You're home away from home, the beautiful MV Atlantic. You'll be pampered 24 hours a day. You can reserve a cabin right now by calling 617-890-7930. Here's your thoughts so far. Celtics, I think, playing a very, very smart and good basketball game.
I thought the last minute or so, it might be related to some personnel changes Nelly made, that the momentum has swung over. And we were talking about the Celtics so far in this quarter having the physical edge on the boards and defensively. I thought the last minute or two, Milwaukee has captured this now, and they seem to have the momentum.
Sikma from outside, no. Rebound knocked out of bounds by Terry Cummings. It'll be Boston ball. Celtics with the starting 5 back in there now. Dennis Johnson and Ainge at the guards. Roberts and Bird at the forwards. Parrish at center. DJ has 14 points on 5 out of 5 from the floor and 3 out of 3 from the line. Ainge, fingertip roll, doesn't get it. Sikma the outlet to Moncrief, ahead to Pierce. Back to Moncrief. Spins through and loses the ball out of bounds. And Jack Madden says it's off the Celtics.
See, that young man used to have the versatility to make that 360 move right here.
Bad knees.
The knees just won't allow him to do that any longer. It's unfortunate. He was a spectacular player. No question. He's not able to do it as effectively as he did in the past.
Oh, Celtics had the shot blocked and the rebound, and they ended up losing it. And this time the ball continues to go to Milwaukee to Sikma. The Bucks are being more aggressive. That's why they're getting it.
Milwaukee continues to out-hustle the Celtics here in the last couple of minutes.
Celtics finally get the rebound after the Bucks missed their 4th shot in a row. Ainge from 3. The second 3-point hoop of the game for Danny Ainge, and the 3rd overall in the game for the Celtics, who lead at 47-42. This is the biggest Boston lead.
Milwaukee defense got a little careless there, as we said earlier. 3-point shooters like both of these teams have. You've got to find them coming over half court. Moncrief hits them out.
47-44. Moncrief with 8 points. The Celtics lead is 3 with 5.5 minutes left in the first half. Dennis Johnson, who has played a superior first half, finds Larry Bird, and Bird was being held by Pressey. Couldn't get over to the ball, and it's called off the Celtics. John Lucas is back in for the Bucks, replacing Ricky Pierce. There's the turnover situation. Bucks are being very, very careful with the basketball. Only 2 turnovers from Milwaukee in the first half.
They're about 3rd or 4th best in the league in terms of turnovers. They average only 15.5 per game all season long. So that motion offense they have is pretty effective in this regard.
DJ, the rebound of the missed Moncrief shot. The Bucks have come down and hit nothing the last several tries. Comes back outside to Bird, who winds up and knocks it home from 20 feet. 49-44 Celtics. By 5 points. Bird with 8 in the ball game right now. Pressey, Lucas, Cummings, Sikma, and Moncrief out there for Milwaukee. Pressey from the foul line.
Pressey's first hoop of the game. He's been quiet. He's averaging 12 for the playoffs. He hasn't gotten that much done against the Celtics in the first couple of games.
Ainge trying to dish it off that time. Oh, Bird blocks the shot. Going to be called for a foul.
That'll be his third, I think.
Yes, it is. Third on Larry Bird. Kevin McHale has 3. That is the 4th team foul in the first half, or the second quarter for the Celtics.
Well, they say the hand is part of the ball. You could see him getting the ball and then sliding off and clutching onto one of the fingers. But again, generally a foul that is let go, or not a foul. They don't have to bother calling.
49-46. Now it's 49-47 as Pierce hits the first one. Here's another look at it.
Again, the Lucas penetration setting up the opportunities. That's why whoever's guarding Lucas has to try to find him early and keep him from getting into that penetrating area if that's possible. Not always easy to do.
Rebound, Fred Roberts off the missed Pressey free throw. He really fired a brick over there at that time. Celtics lead is 2 points, 49-47. 4:20 to go in the first half. McHale and Bird both on the bench with 3 personal fouls right now. Dennis Johnson takes it to the Bucks. No. Rebound, Cummings. Lucas coming back. Milwaukee is 2 on 3. Hey, Lucas really got down the floor in a hurry, didn't he? Celtics throw away the inbounds pass. Ainge is saying Lucas hit it. And Bill Saar is saying no, he didn't.
In a game that's going to be close, again, you know, when you're looking at that stat sheet afterwards, you'll point out to some careless mistakes like that as having made the difference. Fouls, turnovers generally will play a large role.
Sikma on the miss. We're going to get another Boston foul. The Celtics have become careless in the last few minutes, and the Milwaukee Bucks have become very, very aggressive, and they're getting the ball to go their way. And the Celtics, I tell you what, are getting no calls in this one. We speculated on that on Top Goose. Milwaukee's got only 1 team foul in this quarter, and they have been tremendously aggressive.
Well, it's a combination of the 2 factors. The fact that Milwaukee has picked up their tempo, has gotten much more physical in the last 3 or 4 minutes, has also caused, you know, the confusion and the carelessness on the part of the Celtics as well.
One more free throw for Jack Sikma. Milwaukee taking the lead now at 50-49. 3:52 first half. It's 51-49. Milwaukee by 2. Dennis Johnson for the Celtics, who led by a point after 1 quarter of play, now find themselves down by 2. Ainge, foul line jumper. No, rebound. Harris trying to control it. He cannot. The Bucks, Sidney Moncrief has it. Now to Paul Pressey. Ahead to John Lucas. Open line drive jumper. Weak side rebound, Dennis Johnson.
You can gamble a little bit with Lucas. He can hurt you offensively, as he did against us once here this year, but percentage-wise, he's not really a good shooter.
Pressey on the outlet pass. Dennis Johnson is going to be called for a foul. And that continues to put Milwaukee at the foul line as the Celtics are way over the limit.
Yeah, there's the high dribble. DJ reaches across, gets a hand on the ball, but as you can see, also gets part of Pressey.
So it'll be 2 shots coming for Paul Pressey. That is the 2nd personal on Dennis Johnson. Kevin McHale is going to be checking back in for the Celtics, and he'll replace Fred Roberts. The Celtics offense in the last 4 minutes has generated just 5 points. And with Bird and McHale both on the bench, the Celtics have had only 1 big man to go to in Paris, so Casey Jones gets McHale back in there to give him an option down low. Milwaukee up 52-49 as they have run now 7 in a row. A 7-0 Milwaukee run. 53-49 Bucks. This has been a game of runs, as the Bucks have had a couple of 6, 7, 8-0 runs, and so the Celtics have had a 6 and a 10-0 run. There's a timeout on the floor. Timeout on the floor here in Milwaukee with 3:07 to go in the first half. When we come back, Bob Gamere will have an NBA update, so stay tuned.
Well, you know, a lot of people have been watching Dennis Johnson because of that story in the Mesa newspaper this morning, but he's been great. He's had 14 points, 10 of them in the first period. But one thing you might watch that I've seen down on the floor, he's starting to get a little testy with Jack Madden, and so are some of the other Celtics. Back to Bob Ben Cousy.
All right, Robert. Good observation. The Celtics are getting a little upset with Madden. Possibility exists that he may get a tee called at some time in this game. Pierce has it stolen by Danny. What a play!
He should have laid it down. He didn't, and he paid the penalty on a fine play by Danny.
The Celtics end up getting nothing out of it. Back comes Lucas on the fast break for 2. Milwaukee back up by 6, 55 to 49.
Celtics continue to be careless the way they handle the ball.
They're killing McHale down low. Pass intended for McHale, knocked out of bounds by Brewer. They're really laying all over Kevin.
Well, they didn't do it early, but they picked it up. He's got to expect that. They know he's injured, and they're going to do everything possible to exploit that situation.
Dennis Johnson for the Celtics, trailing by 6 points, 55-49, 2:20 left in the first half. McHale swings in on Brewer, is fouled, and Kevin will be at the line to shoot 2.
Kevin's still, you know, he's still trying to make his moves, but he's not able to extricate himself. The mobility just isn't there. You see, that's that little spin around move and then take the step back to the basket. Normally he'll, you know, that will clear him from the pressure.
That is only the second team foul called on Milwaukee here in this second quarter. McHale misses the front end. The Celtics are 8 for 10 at the foul line. Milwaukee is 12 for 17. The Bucks have had 7 more free throw attempts than the Celtics. McHale gets the second one, and it's 55 to 50. This is just about the time of the first quarter when the Celtics went on the 8-0 spurt that put them ahead. Kite is in now, replacing Robert Parrish. Ainge steps into the pack and knocks the ball away to Greg Kite, and back comes Danny. 2 minutes left to play, first half. Bucks leading by 5 points. Celtics with Ainge, Johnson, McHale, Kite, and Darren Daye. Daye to the basket. He is fouled, and Darren Daye will shoot 2. Randy Brewer picks up the foul. That is his 3rd personal as you look at it again.
Here it is. He hops in there, and that's what gets him blocked because his head was down. Watch it. Up to here, he's fine. Now he should have taken a step. The fact that he hops gives Brewer the opportunity to get over there. He picked up the foul, but he almost could have gotten that block.
This is the second free throw, so it's 55 to 51. Milwaukee with 1 minute and 45 left to play in the half. See, no, rebound, Kite. Greg has done an outstanding job. Celtics are 3-on-3. Darren Daye all the way loses control, and the ball is saved by Daye, but he was ruled out of bounds by Jack Madden. The Celtics turn it over for the 11th time.
That has hurt them here in the second quarter. As we said a moment ago, Milwaukee is tough on the steals. They play the passing lanes very well. From 3.
John Lucas hits a 3-point shot, 58-51 Milwaukee. They equal their biggest lead of 7.
Lucas with an outstanding first half.
Danny Ainge comes back and says, take that. That's Danny's 3rd 3-point hoop of the ball game, and he has had 7 now in the last 2 games. 3-pointers for Ainge. 11 points in the game for Danny. Celtics within 4. Lucas kicks it off to Sikma, blocked by Daye, but Sikma gets the rebound.
Again, the Lucas penetration. Other than the 16 points that he's gotten personally, he's only averaging 13 in the playoffs, so we've already given him more than his average. He's also dished off a bunch of assists.
The basket doesn't go for Kevin McHale, but he was fouled by, I believe, Paul Mokeski. Well, it's going to be Sikma, and the Bucks, with their 2nd personal foul in the last 2 minutes, put the Celtics into the penalty situation now. And McHale was fouled in the act of shooting, but if the Celtics get fouled not in the act of shooting, they'll have a couple of free throws. That's his 2nd personal on Sikma. McHale is at the line. He is 2 for 4 at the line tonight. Kevin gets the first one to drop. And it's 60 to 55, 36 seconds left in the half. Brewer replaces Sikma for Milwaukee. One more free throw for Kevin. Bird and Parrish both on the bench. Kevin buries them both, and so the Celtics are back to within 4 points to the Milwaukee Bucks with 30 seconds left to play in the half. Pierce short on that one. Rebound Darren Daye. We're going to get a whistle and foul on whom? On Greg Kite.
Guess Kite.
Yeah. That'll put Pierce at the line for 2 shots for Milwaukee. 28 seconds remaining in the half. And Pierce to shoot a couple. Celtics led by 1 at the quarter. Their biggest lead has been 5. The biggest Milwaukee lead has been 7. As Ainge and KC talk things over.
Milwaukee continues to go to the line with that excessive penetration. When you need a game badly, as we said, you can't settle for the jumper. You don't try to make the hoop and pick up the foul as well, and they've been effective in doing that. What it forces the opponent to do is get back very quickly defensively, get in position so that you can collapse your defense and interfere as much as possible with the potential penetrators.
One more free throw coming for Pierce. 61-56 Bucks. 28 seconds left in the half. And it is 62-56 Milwaukee. McHale on the inbounds to Dennis Johnson. The Bucks pick up three-quarter court with the trap, but ahead it comes to McHale.
2-2-1. Nelson likes to do that towards the end of the quarters.
Comes to Darren Daye. He goes in. No, he is fouled.
And again, the hop takes the basket away from him. See, without the hop, with the step into the hoop, off your normal gauge. See, if he just keeps going, see, that hop took the basket away.
I've never seen him do that all year long. Now, why is he all of a sudden doing it?
I don't know, but that's a bad habit. It's a bad habit. The split second it cost him, you know, to wind himself up and take the hop, allowed the man to get back into the play and took the basket away. Now he's got to earn it from the free throw line.
Well, he gets the first one to go with 16 seconds left here in the first half. One more foul shot for Darren Daye. 62-57 Milwaukee. 62-58. Celtics now put on the pressure defense. Ainge trying to pressure the ball, but it comes ahead to Hodges. Down to 10 seconds. There's the time in your upper right-hand corner of the picture. Hodges, good outside shooter, bombs away. Rebound slapped around. It is the end of the first half, where the Milwaukee Bucks hold a 4-point lead. All in all, I think the Celtics are pretty pleased to come out of the first half of this one down by just 4. At the half, it is Milwaukee 62, the Celtics 58. When we come back, Jack Hines will be with you with a Channel 56 news update. Stay tuned. At Milwaukee, the Celtics are down by 4 at the half, 62-58. We want to remind you to enter the Miller Lite Channel 56 fourth quarter shootout to win a color television and a Celtics jacket. Just send along the name of the Celtic player you think will score first in the fourth quarter, along with your name, your address, your phone number to Miller Lite Channel 56 fourth quarter shootout, Post Office Box 56, Boston 02125. Keep watching Channel 56 to see if you win. I'll tell you what, I think the Celtics have to be very pleased at halftime to be down by just 4, especially considering the way they played the last 4 or 5 minutes of the second quarter. The Celtics had themselves a 5-point lead, and they let it get away. They got sloppy with the basketball and did not shoot well. Bird and Parrish had to sit down for a little while at the end of the quarter with foul trouble, so the Celtics were able to whittle what had been a 7-point deficit back to 4, and I think they have to be feeling pretty good about coming out of the first half trailing by just 4 points. You just saw the team statistics. Individually for the Celtics, Dennis Johnson with a brilliant first half, as did Danny Ainge. 14 for Johnson, 11 for Ainge, 14 for Kevin McHale. Let's go out to the floor right now, where Bob Cousy standing by with KC Jones. All right, Cousy.
Thank you, Gilbert. Coach, what do we do about that little rascal Lucas?
Well, we got to do a better job of getting back and helping Danny out by double teaming. He's not getting the help, so Lucas gets ahead of steam up, pushes the ball up the court, and just goes right by Danny with no one can stop. So we have to get another guy back to get in there and then just squeeze him, then he has to pull it back out. We did that better in the second quarter, and we've got to start out with it.
Let's go do it. Thank you, Coach. We're going to be back with second half action in just a moment.
Celtics trail 62-58 as we get set to start the second half. We'd like to send along our wishes for a speedy recovery to Christopher McPherson of Hanson, who's recuperating from an accident. All of us with the Celtics wish him well. Celtics will start the second half with Ainge, Johnson, Bird, Roberts, and Parrish. Milwaukee with Lucas, Moncrief, Cummings, Sikma, and where's the fifth man? Right there, Paul Pressey. Here's your thoughts on the first half.
Well, as we heard Kurt say, I think the first priority is to do a better job on Lucas. Stop him from penetrating, find him quicker, don't give him that three-point shot. Also take better care of the ball. Turnovers hurt them, especially in the second quarter. 11 for Boston, only 4 for Milwaukee.
Bird buries the first shot of the second half on the good feed from Dennis Johnson, and the Celtics have cut the Milwaukee lead to 2 points. Moncrief back for the Bucks. Been a good basketball game. Cummings crashing through. He just lowers that shoulder in there, going for first down, doesn't he? He's tough. 12 points for him.
He's not going to kill you with surprises. You know what he shows you he's going to do. He's going to. That's what he's going to attempt to do, one way or another. So he's not going to take you by surprise. You still have to deal with it.
2 in a row for Larry Bird to start the second half. Larry had only 8 points in the first half. I suspect that Larry's going to have a monster second half.
Got to get a little bit more out of Robert, too. They didn't really go inside to him as much as I thought they might. He only had 2 hoops, but primarily because they didn't look for him.
Celtics down by a pair as Dennis Johnson brings it down. We've played 1 minute of the third quarter. Ainge, low to Bird. He is fouled as he went up for the shot by Pressey, and Larry will go to the stripe to shoot a couple. On Paul Pressey, I believe that's his second personal foul. Take another look at it.
DJ reverses, Ainge reverses all with DJ on that entry pass to Bird that time. DJ throwing the fastball.
2 free throws for Larry. He is averaging just under 30 points, 10 rebounds, and 8 assists per game so far in the 87 playoff season. And the big man has hit 6 in a row to start the second half, and the Celtics have tied the game at 64 apiece. We're even at 64. 10:40 to go, third quarter. Moncrief trying to go on Bird. Sikma had a notion to shoot it. Roberts knocks the ball out of the way, and that's going to be a foul on Pressey. Loose ball foul. Good hustle by Roberts, and he paid the price. Watch this. He really gets wrapped.
Good hands here by Roberts. Reaches in, strips Pressey, who obviously gets annoyed at that, and lets Roberts have it.
How could you tell, mon ami?
Well, I pick out those little things.
You pick up these
subtle things.
The nuances.
Yeah. No, I'm alert. Amazing what 35 years of experience will do for you.
Parrish on the miss. Rebound Cummings. We're even at 64. 10 minutes and 15 seconds left, third quarter. Lucas not pushing it up as rapidly as he did in the second quarter. Outside, Moncrief on the miss. Robert the rebound. Celtics playing very sharply here so far in the early minutes of the third quarter. Parrish around Sikma, and he was fouled by Jack Sikma. That'll be the second team foul on Milwaukee in this quarter.
It is. Robert with much more mobility than the big man. I think that's what Don Nelson is catching some heat from the owner of the team. It's been rumored that he'll be leaving here to go to Golden State as the GM at the end of the year. And I think the owner is upset at the Lister for Sikma trade that was made.
Roberts, Bird, no, rebound Sikma. Moncrief, obviously slowed down by knee injuries over the years. Lucas picking it off to Sikma. Goes over Parrish for the jumper. And going to get a loose ball foul on Milwaukee. That'll give them 3 in the quarter. Well, the Bucks are being just as aggressive, Coos, here in the third quarter as they were in the second, but this time they're being called for the foul.
Well, the Celtics are responding. They're in the right place. So they're moving better, so that it's causing them to foul. Their aggression is causing them to foul, where in the second quarter they weren't in position to get fouled.
Ainge on the miss, Robert on the rebound, looking to go back up. Picked up by Roberts, no, ball loose, Roberts saves it. Good hustle. Celtics banging the boards on the offensive end. DJ to Bird. Roberts. Beautiful move. Fred Roberts.
Good job. Good interior ball movement, but Roberts looks like
he's hurt.
Ends up with a cramp in his left leg.
Milwaukee has taken a timeout as the Celtics try to attend to Fred Roberts. And with 9:01 to play in the third quarter, the Celtics have carved out a 2-point lead again. 66-64. The world champs are up by 2 on this hoop by Fred Roberts. Tomorrow night on the 8 o'clock movie, Arnold Schwarzenegger is back as a mighty warrior with an impossible quest, Conan the Destroyer, or Conan the Destroyer, whatever. Television premiere here on WLVI-TV. It's not a musical.
Whatever he's going to break, he doesn't care what you call him.
Fred Roberts is over on the sidelines and in some pain. Kevin McHale has come in to replace him, but the Celtics can ill afford to lose Roberts at this point in time with Bill Walton also out of action. And the ball is out of bounds off Milwaukee. The Celtics are very thin now in front court reserves with Darren Daye now being the only one. Team Dr. Tom Silva looking over Fred Roberts' left leg.
Celtics starting to get the bounces here in the third quarter.
Yeah.
They didn't get many in the second. Primarily their own fault, really. They didn't match the Milwaukee intensity, but here, again, it's turned around.
8-2 Celtics run is put to the head. Ainge.
Yeah, Ainge got it in, but then got it deflected. Kevin moved in. Went off his hand.
Rebound,
Lucas. That time Bird came in to help out on the Lucas penetration. That's what they need.
Ahead to McHale. He is fouled by Sikma, and Kevin will be at the line. Cousy, that's 4 team fouls on Milwaukee. The Celtics have none. Celtics could have a parade to the foul line here in this quarter.
I'll tell you, this is the time when you want to go to that Bird isolation, when the team gets into the penalty situation, because this, you know, he's going to create something out of that isolation situation. And more times than not, he'll pick up the foul as well.
Kevin misses his 3rd free throw of the game. Sikma's going to sit down with 4 personal fouls. Randy Brewer replaces him for Milwaukee. So Sikma goes out and Brewer comes in. McHale with 1 more free throw, gets 1 of the 2, and it's 67-64 Celtics. 8 minutes and 10 seconds left, third quarter here in Milwaukee, game 3. Big game for both teams. Milwaukee wins it, and of course they close it down to 2-1 and be looking forward to Sunday. If the Celtics win this one, however, and they open up a 3-0 lead, and the Bucks would be very much on the ropes.
Good job by Lucas there. He absorbed pretty good contact by Ainge and still was able to soften a shot up on the fall away. That's not an easy thing to do.
Ball is out of bounds off the Celtics as Johnson tried to make the bounce pass to Ainge. Lucas now with 18 points, bringing Milwaukee to within 1. The Bucks this time looking to take the lead. Cummings low to Ricky Pierce. Celtics double up on him, and they come out and chase him. Lucas down to 10 on the shot clock. Now Moncrief, now Brewer, Pierce, wild shot, air ball. Parrish picks it off.
They got a hand on it.
Ahead to DJ.
So you can afford to trap on the Milwaukee shooters because they don't have that kind of outside threat in Moncrief or Cummings or Brewer.
McHale sweeps in, doesn't get it. Parrish sweeps the board, is fouled, and he'll be at the line. The Bucks are over the limit, Coos, with 7 minutes to go in the third quarter. Could really be a factor.
Only as much as the Celtics take advantage of it, and that's what they're going to have to do. They've got to take the ball to the basket, they've got to go inside, and they've got to isolate Bird.
2 free throws for Robert Parrish. The Chief knocks the first one down. He's averaging 19 points a game in the playoffs in '87, 9.5 rebounds, and leads the team in block shots with 13 through 5 games. The Chief gets both free throws. He's hitting his foul shots, by the way, at over 90% in the playoffs.
He's been the most consistent center in the league,
yes,
certainly this year, but perhaps for the last 2 or 3, but obviously has not gotten the recognition.
He's just playing superb basketball and getting better all the time. Like fine wine, he ages very well. Nice move to the hoop by Ricky Pierce against a double team. I'll tell you, that was a tough move. 69-68, Celtics with a 1-point edge. 15 points in the game for Pierce with 6.5 minutes left in the third. DJ. And now Ainge. Loops it into Bird. Larry's fall away hits the corner of the backboard. And Randy Brewer comes out of there with it.
Turns out to be not a good shot, but where Bird is concerned, you've seen him do so many unorthodox things that you don't know what's a good shot or a bad.
Going to get a foul on Robert Parrish here for fouling Randy Brewer. First team foul on the Celtics in the third quarter. And that is the second personal foul on Robert Parrish. And as we look down the Celtics bench, looks like Fred Roberts has gone into the locker room with team Dr. Tom Silva. Brewer missing the front end of the 2-shot foul. Oprah Winfrey here at the game. Television personality, talk show host, munching away on popcorn, but that's okay because popcorn is not fattening, folks. I want you to know that.
It's too late anyway, right?
69-69 is our score with 6:10 to go in the third quarter. I didn't say that. Bird has the ball slapped away. Bucks come back. Cummings. Now Moncrief. Pressey for three. Good grief.
They get the good bounce out of it, however.
Moncrief puts the Bucks ahead. Well, the Celtics came out smoking to start the quarter at 8-2. The Bucks have come back to retake the lead. Parrish, baseline, up with a rainbow jumper, and he ties the game at 71. 5.5 minutes left, third quarter.
We expected a close one, and that seems to be what's developing here. An absolute must game for Milwaukee. They certainly have no chance to come back from a 3-0 deficit.
What's happening in Milwaukee's shot selection here?
Well, Celtics are trapping the shooters, and that's leaving the non-shooters theoretically open. So
What a play by Ainge.
Oh,
What a play by Danny Ainge. He caught the ball in the air, and while in the air, slapped it off the chest of Brewer and out of bounds off Milwaukee. Mokeski comes in replacing Brewer. Here's a look at it. Watch Ainge on this.
Ainge using his quickness behind the back. Gets it to kick off the big guy who didn't get out of the way quickly enough.
Celtics missed the shot after that play, and Milwaukee misses on their end. Rebound, Mokeski blows it. My goodness, seven-footer put away from the hoop.
Did a fine job in moving Parrish out of the play and establishing a position, getting the ball, but then a little over anxious getting it back up. That'll happen.
Backdoor Bird.
There it is.
Thank you, Dennis Johnson. I tell you, they've got that thing down to a science. That is ice cream with Jimmy's.
Well, they all expect him to pop out off that baseline pick, and he does most of the time. So when he reverses and goes to the basket, catches the defense by surprise. They pick up 2 or 3 a game on that play.
16 points in the ball game now for Larry Bird, who steals the ball, intended for Cummings. Celtics playing very sharp here in the third quarter. They look very crisp. DJ looking for McHale, but Cummings is on him tough. Now Parrish. DJ again looking for McHale. Kevin wheeling on Cummings. Gives him a couple of moves, but he's going to be called for traveling.
Yeah, just doesn't have the mobility that he normally displays.
Roberts is back on the bench, by the way. A contusion is what the injury is to left leg, and may be able to return in the fourth quarter is the word on Fred Roberts. 73-71 Celtics, 3:45 left third quarter. Milwaukee's Ricky Pierce ties it up.
He can hurt you in a lot of ways.
He's a good player.
You've seen him take DJ inside effectively. Now he goes out. Ainge.
Blocking foul by Mokeski. Ainge will shoot 2.
That'll be helpful. It looked like Danny got it in there, but then a little out of control. Watch now. Turns up the speed a bit. When he gets here, well,
What do you think?
out of control because Mokeski moves in and gives him a little body.
2 shots for Danny. Celtics have missed 5 free throws in this ball game now. For Milwaukee, Craig Hodges is in replacing Moncrief. 1 more shot for Danny Ainge. Tied at 73, 3:37 left third quarter. Celtics up by 1 on the Ainge free throw. Pressey, Cummings, Hodges, Pierce, and Mokeski out there for Milwaukee. Johnson, Ainge, Parrish, Bird, and McHale for the Celtics. Pressey picked up by Parrish on the switch. They go low to Pressey. Blocked, but a foul is going to be called on the Celtics.
I think DJ might have gotten him first. DJ's playing behind Pierce. I think he's going to have to alternate that just a bit. See, he's giving him that inside position, and this kid can do a lot of damage if he's allowed to go where he wants to go. DJ's going to have to front or at least give him half a man pressure on either side.
That is the 3rd personal foul on Dennis Johnson. So Bird, McHale, and DJ all have 3. Here's shooting 2 shots. Milwaukee at the foul line tonight is 16 of 22. Celtics are 20 of 25. There was a big disparity in free throws at one point in the first half in favor of Milwaukee, but now it's evened up. Second one by Pierce, and Milwaukee leads 75-74. Time remaining 3:15 in the third quarter. 19 points now for Ricky Pierce. Dennis Johnson finds Birds, tries to scoop it off. Ainge picks up the loose ball and knocks it down. Celtics by 1.
Not exactly the way they put it on the blackboard, but it still counts for the same thing. 2 points.
Mokeski. And now Cummings takes it to McHale. Beautiful. Misses the shot. Rebound comes back to Milwaukee. Mokeski again, and he gets it the hard way.
He got a second opportunity after he made a good baseline drive. Blew by a couple of Celtic big men and then rushed the shot.
DJ rattles it down to put the Celtics back on top again by 1. 2.5 minutes left, third quarter. Been a brilliantly played game. Pressey comes up, knocks it down for Milwaukee, and the Bucks lead by 1. Lead changes galore here in this third quarter. 79-78 Milwaukee. 2:20 left to play. Third quarter. Bird tries to go inside to McHale, knocked out of bounds by Milwaukee.
They're playing Bird for the pass on a penetration. He's got to become aware of that and go to the shot himself.
And right now we have a timeout on the floor with 2 minutes and 15 seconds left to play. Third quarter. There's your score. The Celtics are down by 1. Greg Kite is in. Robert Parrish sitting down for a rest. There's a final. Atlanta takes a 2-1 lead in their series with Detroit with a 9-point win over the Pistons at Pontiac, Michigan.
That swings the home court advantage back to Atlanta. They had lost it in the first game of the series, losing in Atlanta.
All right, Celtics trailing by 1. Bird gets it low to McHale, and Kevin gets the deuce. And the Celtics lead by 1, 80-79. We've had 12 lead changes in the third quarter.
2 minutes in the period.
Hodges, and now Sikma's just checked back in. He has 4 personals. Pressing. No. Rebound. Loose. Out of bounds. It'll be Milwaukee ball with 1 minute and 53 left to play in the third quarter. Pressey to play, put it in play for the Bucks. Could run out of time. Just gets it in to Mokeski. Now Pierce
looking to go inside to the Pressey-Bird matchup.
Rebound Bird.
Pressey forcing. So often when a coach directs the offense to a certain man, it puts additional pressure on him and he isn't able to come through.
Celtics with a 1-point lead and the ball and 1.5 minutes to play in the third quarter. Dennis Johnson. Mokeski nearly made the steal. Finally goes over to Pressey. Ahead. Pierce reverse layup. Celtics blew that one.
And again, the carelessness, the TOs are hurting the Celtics in this ballgame.
Celtics blew that one on their own. 81-80. Trying to get it to McHale.
Milwaukee denies well. Kevin sees an opening.
God, he got crushed.
They deny well and they play passing lanes extremely effectively. So you just have to be more careful when you're playing against this ball club.
Darren Daye is going to come in for the Celtics. McHale, there's Don Nelson with one of his famous fish ties.
Nelly, who has
ugliest ties I've ever seen.
Such an outstanding coaching job here in Milwaukee over the years. Rumored to be leaving, as we mentioned earlier.
Darren Daye comes in for the Celtics to replace Larry Bird. 18 points now for Kevin in the ball game. His career playoff high, by the way, is 33. One more for Kevin. He gets them both, and the Celtics lead 82-81 with 1 minute and 5 seconds to play in the third quarter. Hodges.
Celtics have had a good third quarter here. They've been able to take 5 points off. 6-man old give and go. Make that 3 points off the halftime lead.
Milwaukee again back up by 1 with 50 seconds left in the third quarter as the lead continues to change hands. DJ on the miss. Saves it for himself. Winds up for 3. It is no good. Rebound Kite. It is knocked out of bounds off Milwaukee. Boston ball with 36 seconds left in the third quarter.
Kite working hard, finding the openings. Not the handle, however.
20-second timeout taken by the Celtics. So with a 20-second timeout, we'll tell you you're watching the world champion Boston Celtics on Channel 56. Well, 36 seconds left to play, third quarter. The Celtics trail by a point, 83-82 here in Game 3. They call the 20-second timeout to set up whatever they're going to do for a shot here. Milwaukee, even if the Celtics take it to limit on the shot clock, Milwaukee will still get it back with 14 seconds and obviously lots of time for them to work a play. Now let's see what K.C. Jones is called. Doesn't have Bird in there. Got Darren Daye to inbounds. He goes to Dennis Johnson. Dennis gets it to McHale. Beautiful. Kevin swooping to the hoop for 84-83. Boston by 1.
They were giving Dennis baseline for some strange reason. He took it just enough to draw the defensive man away from Kevin and create a layup for him.
It's good. 2-point shot by Pierce. Milwaukee leads 85-84. 18 seconds left to go in the third quarter. 23 points for Pierce. And the Celtics can now play it down for the final shot of the quarter if they wish. There's your time remaining in the third quarter.
Watch the trap. They like to do it at the end of each quarter.
DJ, no. Rebound Mokeski. That is the end of the third quarter. Milwaukee has a 1-point lead. After 3 at the Mecca in Milwaukee, it is the Bucks 85 and the Celtics 84. Time now for the Miller Lite Channel 56 fourth quarter shootout. Tonight's entry, M. Kelly of Worcester, Massachusetts. And counting on Larry Bird to score first in this quarter. If right, M. Kelly will win a color TV and a Celtics jacket. If wrong, they'll send him a Celtics jacket just for editing and having his name drawn. For the Celtics, for the fourth quarter, it'll start out with Seasteen and Johnson at the guards, Daye and Bird at the forwards, Kite at center. For Milwaukee, Hodges and Pressey at the guards, Sikma, Mokeski, and Pierce up front. Milwaukee going with the 2 7-footers here as we start the fourth quarter. Bucks lead by 1. The Celtics outscored them 26-23 in the third quarter. Pierce takes it in and hits. What a game he's having. Ricky Pierce, great game. And the Bucks lead by 3. That's the biggest lead either team has had in some time. 25 points for Pierce.
I'll tell you what, they figured out what to do about Lucas this half.
Yeah, give it to Pierce.
Now they better work on Pierce a little bit.
Daye gets it back to Seasteen. Now Dennis Johnson, 6 on the shot clock, and Dennis drills it. And it's 87-86. And Dennis is having a great basketball game himself. DJ now with 18 points in the game.
He's got to pick up the defense a notch on Mr. Pierce, however. He's been a little lax in letting him go where he wants to go, and he's taken advantage of it and done a heck of a job.
Pressey trying to move on Daye. He does. And we got a foul on the Celtics, and we'll put Paul Pressey at the line. Darren Daye commits the foul.
I think Daye's got to give Pressey room. You know this man wants to take it to the basket. He doesn't have that kind of outside shot. Give him a little bit more room. Give yourself the advantage on the penetration.
Robert Parrish checks back in for the Celtics, replacing Greg Kite. Pressey missing the front end of the 2-shot foul. One more free throw for Paul Pressey, shooting them at 81% in the playoffs. On the season, Pressey normally a 74% foul shooter. And he gets that one. Now Milwaukee leads by a deuce, 88-86. 11 minutes to go in the game. Ahead it comes to Darren Daye. They're getting it back to Seasteen. Celtics could use Seasteen warming up with some jump shots in these playoffs. He has not been hitting at all. DJ trying to go, gets it to Parrish. Robert, rainbow jumper, and the Chief ties the game at 88-88.
Nice little 2-on-2 basketball there by DJ and the Chief. Creates a nice fall away.
DJ
Robert
putting up tight on Pierce. Now Sikma loses it, and it's going to be called off Darren Daye. It'll be Milwaukee ball. 13 on the shot clock. This has been a tense duel all night long. The biggest lead either team has had has been 7 points. Sikma now pressing. Parrish on him on the switch, so Sikma's being guarded by Daye. They get it to Sikma, and Daye very wisely fouls it. Or they're going to give that to Bird. It is. They give it to Bird, and that is the 4th personal on Larry Bird. Now Kevin McHale will come in for the Celtics, and he'll replace Darren Daye. Eddie McHale is to be given credit for the minutes he's played tonight and the game he's had despite the bad ankles.
That allows them to match up a little bit better on the 2 7-footers Milwaukee's got in there. Pressey hits them out.
Milwaukee leads by 2, 90-88. 10 minutes to go in the game. Bird now with 4 personals. And that, of course, could be a factor. Bird and Sikma with 4 each. Parrish, Sistine, open 20-footer. He gets it. Very, very needed jump shot by Jerry Sistine. Ties it again at 90. Moncrief back. Now Mokeski and Pressey. Pressey goes by DJ, dishes it off.
Nice job by Pressey. Again, the penetration hurting the Celtics.
Milwaukee 92, the Celtics 90. Looks like this is the way it's going to go to the wire. Coos.
No surprise to these two veteran observers.
Parrish.
Had all the earmarks of a close game.
Yeah. Still holding on to it. Finally gets it to Bird with 6 on the shot clock. Down to 4. Fall away. No. Illegal defense warning against Milwaukee on Paul Mokeski, and that is the first illegal defense warning against the Bucks. The first illegal defense against them, so it's a warning. Any subsequent ones will be a technical foul. Gives the Celtics a fresh 24 seconds to work with.
Neither of the teams have really gone into an extensive trapping of the ball, and that's why we haven't had any illegal defense calls.
Bird takes it in. No. Rebound, Parrish. Robert comes out of the pack with it, loses it. We're going to get a foul on Milwaukee. Loose ball foul on Sidney Moncrief. And that'll be the first foul on Milwaukee in the quarter. The second on Moncrief in the game. And Bird will put it in play. Celtics still trail by 2. Bird. No. Parrish the rebound.
Robert's done a good job on that offensive board tonight.
Sistine ties it up. His second hoop in a row. 92-92. Jerry Sistine starting to come alive. We're tied at 92. Lucas and now Cummings. They double him up, and so they swing the ball out to Moncrief. Sikma.
See, they don't have the outside shooters on that weak side to swing the ball to. This
three-pointer by John Lucas, his 3rd of the game.
Wow, he has really hurt us in this game.
21 points for Lucas, his first points of the second half. 95-92 Milwaukee. Dennis Johnson hits it on the other end. 95-94. Down court, Cummings misses the shot. Dennis Johnson comes back for the Celtics. Trailing by 1. DJ, top to the hoop. Celtics lead by 1. DJ taking matter into his own hands the last couple of trips down. And the Celtics lead 96-95, 22 for Dennis Johnson. 7:50 to go in the game.
Nice change of pace baseline move by DJ. 8 points and a half for him.
Now Pressey. Got DJ on him defensively. Now Parrish on the switch. Moncrief outside. Rebound slapped out. Moncrief has it. Beautiful spin. Dishes it off. Ball to the floor. Everybody after it.
Good job by Sikma. Came out of the pack. A lot of guys trying to find the handle. He did. Paid off for him.
12 points for Sikma and a 1-point Milwaukee lead. 97-96. And the tension continues here in Milwaukee. This has been a tense game all night long. Parrish with the smaller Cummings on it. Robert has it slapped out of his hands. That's one of the things the smaller men will do. Robert misses the shot. Cummings the rebound. Lucas is fouled by Dennis Johnson. And that'll be the 4th personal on DJ. And the 3rd on the Celtics as a team in the quarter.
Yeah, good foul.
Yeah.
Lucas had a head of steam up. DJ knew if he got by him, we'd have a 3-on-1 on the other end.
DJ now sits down for a rest, and Danny Ainge is back in for the Celtics. And John Lucas will put it in play for the Bucks with the Celtics trailing by 1 and 7 minutes to go. What has been a tense ball game. Moncrief back in from up close. And the Bucks lead by 3. Milwaukee 99-96.
A little bit more of a struggle for the 6'5" all-star player, but he still can get it done pretty effectively.
Bird now has Lucas on him. They get it to Jerry Sistine, who's open. This is the shot. It goes over the top. It's Milwaukee ball.
Play required one more pass. Defense got back, rotated well to the ball.
Timeout on the floor. 6:34 left to play in the basketball game. The Milwaukee Bucks lead the Celtics by 3, 99-96. This Memorial Day weekend, WLVI salutes the veterans. Saturday, May 23rd at 8, Richard Burton leads the Wild Geese. Sunday, May 24th at 7, Clint Eastwood goes where Eagles dare. And Monday, May 25th at 7:30, Clint returns and Kelly's Heroes. Dennis Johnson, 22. Kevin McHale, 21, leading the Celtics. Ricky Pierce, 25. John Lucas, 21, leading the Bucks. Milwaukee by 3. Lucas to the basket. Rebound, Parrish. Whistle, foul.
Both teams back to their strength for the last 6 minutes here.
And that'll be... Now, let's see. They give it to Robert Parrish, right, his third personal.
Again, good penetration by Lucas, hurting the Celtics.
Milwaukee.
You know, when you're trying to guard a kid like this with all of his moves, it's fine to say you've got to try to keep him from penetrating if you're the guard on him, but it's literally an impossible job to do. That's why you need that help from behind.
The Bucks have gone on a 5-0 run here to take, or a 6-0 run to take a 101-96 lead. Harris answers it and breaks the 6-0 run. 101-98 Milwaukee, 6 minutes to go. Moncrief back for the Bucks. Celtics trailing. Moncrief misses the shot. McHale the rebound. Celtics down by 3. DJ has it stolen by Moncrief. Excellent anticipation by the veteran. Celtics have committed an awful lot of turnovers in this ball game. 16. Cummings is left open. And he drove it.
That one hurt in particular.
Yeah, that was a big turnover.
There was really no need for the pass to be made. And Moncrief sits back in those bushes. He can be awfully dangerous on picking up passes.
On Milwaukee, on Sikma, and that'll be 5 on Jack Sikma. And that is the second team foul on Milwaukee here in the quarter. So Bird will put it in play for the Celtics, trailing by 5 with 5:28 to go in the game. 103-98. Danny, baseline, 18-footer. Rebound, Bird. He is fouled from behind. That'll be the third Milwaukee team foul. And it'll be a possession foul with Bird again to put it in play for the Celtics. And Bill Sarr wants the Celtics to put the ball out in play on our side of the floor. They're situated just up to Bird's right. DJ, Celtics down 103-98. Sikma's got 5 personals, so McHale takes it to him. The jump hook goes, and it's 103-100. Well, that's obviously the place to go, Cousy. Sikma with 5.
McHale recognized that immediately. He possibly had the little jumper. Sikma's got to play off the man, whoever he's guarding now, anticipating the drive. They'll work on it.
Sikma, and now Pressey. As we're winding down to less than 5 minutes to play, 4:50 to go. Moncrief is left open. Rebound Danny Ainge, but it's slapped away. Pressey has it. Now Moncrief for Milwaukee. Low to Sikma. Ball slapped around. Sikma misses the shot. Harris has the rebound. That's the team that plays defense over the next 4.5 minutes is going to win this one. 103-100 Milwaukee. DJ looking to post up. Whistle, Milwaukee foul. Dennis Johnson will go to the line, and the Bucks hit the limit of 4 as the Celtics are at the limit as well.
There it is. DJ taking advantage of the smaller Lucas.
Dennis Johnson with 23 points in the ball game. He's been over 20 in all 3 of these games against the Bucks in this series. One more for Dennis, who made the all-defensive team this week.
He's well over his average in the playoffs here, averaging 20.
He's averaging 19 overall.
13 for the season.
Celtics down by 1, 103-102. Sikma with it, and now Pressey. Celtics double him up. Lucas going to go for 3. That's the fourth one. He's killing him with it.
I'll tell you, the percentage is to do that.
Yeah.
You know. However, the percentage doesn't always go in your favor.
106-102, the Bucks. On the 3-point hoop by Lucas. DJ. Now Danny Ainge moves a step forward. Does not hit it. Rebound Moncrief. 3:40 to go. Moncrief. Lucas, you going to try it again? I don't know.
The time of the game where you simply have to match baskets with the opponent. You know, one miss can be critical. Lucas again.
Misses that one. Bird the rebound. Outlets it to Danny Ainge. Celtics trailing by 4 with 3:20 to go in the ball game. DJ has Moncrief on him. They've got Sikma guarding Parrish. Bird trying to go around the pick is doubled up as the ball snapped away. Oh, Lordy. This is a killer.
Give Milwaukee credit. Once again, turnovers, aggressive defense have made the difference.
Milwaukee leads it 108 to 102 with 3 minutes to go in the game. And that could have been a killing basket, Coos.
That's been their strength all year.
28 points now for Lucas in the game.
Tenacious defense, especially with this small unit here.
Bird is being muscled to death by Pressey. And finally, Bill Sarr calls the foul. And Bird will go to the line to shoot 2. There's a timeout on the floor. With a score, Milwaukee 108, the Celtics 102. When we come back, Bob Gamere will have an NBA update. Stay tuned.
I was just with Fred Roberts under the stands. He can play. He has a contusion that made a nerve go dead on his leg. The doc worked on it, then he walked, jogged, and now he's running. He can play. What about John Lucas? This is a man successfully rehabilitated from his drug problem. He's got a career high 28 points tonight. Let's go back now to Gil and Bob.
Well, we have 2:44 to go in the ball game. We're down to crunch time, Coos. 108-102, Milwaukee with a 6-point lead. And needless to say, a couple of crucial free throws here for Larry Bird.
I think the Celtics have to continue to gamble a little defensively here in the last 2 or 3 minutes. Trap the ball, force Milwaukee to swing the ball, and gamble on the outside shot. I don't think they can play legitimate matchup defense.
Bird gets them both, and the Celtics are within 4. Milwaukee has Pressey, Lucas, Sikma, Cummings, and Moncrief out there. A 3-guard offense, essentially. Celtics with Ames, Roberts, Parrish, Bird, and McHale. A whistle and a foul on Robert Parrish. And that puts the Celtics over the limit and will put Sidney Moncrief on the line. He is not the guy you want to be sending to the foul line. Moncrief, a good foul shooter, but a better foul shooter is number 4 on Robert when the pressure's on. He's a money ball player. All right, now Moncrief with 2 shots and a 4-point Milwaukee lead. And now it's a 5-point lead with 2.5 minutes to go. Still, of course, a long way. Been a grinder, hasn't it, Coos?
Yeah, it sure has. It certainly hasn't been a shooter's game because of the tenacious defense on the part of both clubs.
Celtics down by 6 points. 2:25 left to play. They trap the ball. Dennis Johnson is fouled, and he will go to the line. The foul is on Terry Cummings. And that'll put DJ on the foul line as the Bucks went to the double team on Dennis Johnson as they trap the ball. DJ will be there to shoot 2.
Both teams going into that trap defense simply to get the opponent out of their normal offensive pattern. They simply want to establish a freelance situation rather than letting Boston go inside or Milwaukee doing their thing.
One more for Dennis Johnson. 26 points in the ball game for DJ. And the Celtics trail by 4 with 2:20 to go. And this could be the most important trip down the floor defensively for the Celtics against the Bucks offense. Stop them here, and they got themselves a real good shot.
Mismatch.
Yep. DJ is guarding Sikma, so Pressey takes the shot.
Wow.
Oh, my goodness. I can't believe he did that.
Pressey will do that. He has great confidence in his outside shot. He ought to read his own stats because it doesn't reflect.
Parrish gets it back. And the Celtics are within 2, 110 to 108, with 1:53 to play in the ball game. Milwaukee wants timeout. Don Nelson is saying to Pressey the same thing we were saying. Yeah. Why did you do that?
Nelson's got to be upset. He was upset at Cummings for fouling on that trap at half court. And now he's upset for the same reason.
Well, there's the story. 1:53 left to play. The Celtics, the beneficiaries of a foolish play by Paul Pressey.
It'll be won by defense at this point.
Lucas with Danny Ainge on him. Lucas will take it all the way.
Oh, boy.
And right by him.
No excuse there. Brought it from half court. Caught the big guy standing around, and it shouldn't have taken him by surprise. He's done it enough times.
30 points in the game for John Lucas. Bird with Pressey on him. Comes around the Parrish pick. Finds Johnson. Now Ames. 18-foot jumper. No. Minute 20 to go. Celtics trail by 4 points. Lucas pushing it up for the Bucks. Sikma pulls up. Big basket. Bucks lead by 6 with a minute and 15 to go. And the Celtics want a timeout. Well, Coos.
Once again, Lucas.
Mistake.
You know, look, inexplicable in terms of coming out of that timeout. I'm sure both coaches are telling their players to dig in defensively. Lucas takes it in.
Bucks lead it by 6 with a minute 14 to go. Minute 14 seconds left to play. Celtics down by 6. And this is a must-score possession for the Celtics.
Both teams will trap the ball now, force the swing of the ball if they can. DJ muscles it up.
114 to 110.
Cummings and McHale going at it.
And the Bucks will put it in play. Cummings. Celtics pressuring all over the floor.
Celtics have to do the same. Watch for the trap. Milwaukee will spread the offense, make it difficult to trap the ball.
Celtics trailing by 4. Down to 50 seconds to play in the game. And Milwaukee down to 8 on the shot clock. Down to 5 on the shot clock. Lucas. Now Pressey. No. Rebound Pressey.
Move 24. That's what hurts the most.
Celtics did their job defensively. But Milwaukee got the ball back. And now it's going to be a matter of perhaps fouling someone, dude, with only 25 seconds to go. They're trying to foul someone. Milwaukee down to 5 on the shot clock, down to 4. And a rebound McHale with 16 seconds to go. Time remaining. That's the time left in the game. DJ does not get the basket, but he is fouled. Oh, and he goes into the crowd. DJ will shoot 2 shots with 9 seconds left to play, and Milwaukee leading by 4.
Wipes out 3 photogs simultaneously. There it is. DJ does the smart thing. There isn't enough time to set up the 3-pointer, so take it in as quickly as possible and look for the 3-pointer that way.
Dennis with a season-high 28 points, stepping up to the line there. Now he has 29.
Need a timeout here somewhere.
Now
okay.
The Celtics take it.
Yeah, they've got a plan on whether possibly to miss this shot, I suppose.
Well,
rather than give them possession, you miss the shot, get possession, and you've got an opportunity with the 3-pointer. If you give it to them with a guy like Lucas that they've obviously had very little success with in terms of taking the ball away from him, it makes it pretty difficult. And again, you know, given the lineup they've got out there, they've got to go extended defense and try to trap the ball. Milwaukee, as we have seen, have spread their offense well. So basically, you're talking about if you make the free throw and give Milwaukee the ball, it's just a question of having to try. Yeah, but Lucas, with his speed and mobility, you know, this kid is tough. Let me tell you, sometimes it's not easy to foul him in, even when you're attempting to do it intentionally, and you've only got 9 seconds to play with. You know, the chances he can at least kill 3 or 4 seconds before you even put him to the line. I don't know. I would be tempted. It's the percentage is to make the free throw and try to steal. But in this case, given the lineup we've got, given the fact that McHale is hurting, you know, you've got Robert and Bird. It's not a speed lineup in that sense. I think I might gamble on trying to miss the free throw and come up with that offensive board.
Well, the Celtics have been practically an Iron Man unit here in the second half after Fred Roberts was injured. The only substitutes have been Kite for a few minutes, Seastein for a few minutes, and Daye for about less than a minute. Now Daye is coming into the game replacing Parrish, obviously for defensive purposes.
I would say then he's probably going to make it.
Yeah.
And Case gives himself a little more speed out there.
All right, the Bucks have Sikma, Lucas, Moncrief, Pressey out there with Cummings. The Celtics have DJ at the line shooting 1, down by 3 with 9 seconds left.
In this case, the strategy changes. They've got to foul quickly.
Dennis gets it. So it's down by 2. Sikma to inbounds. They could run into trouble here. They call timeout. I'll tell you what, he very nearly lost the ball on a 5-second.
Well, veteran
It's a
player,
20-second
you know, in fact, a veteran team. 11 out of 12 of the Milwaukee players have playoff experience, so, you know, that advantage really does not work in our favor necessarily.
22nd timeout. You're watching the world champion Boston Celtics here on. We're going to have to keep it here, folks, because they just sounded the horn. 114 to 112. Milwaukee on top with 9 seconds to go in the game. And Milwaukee with possession of the ball.
The choice is whether to take it at half court, get you away from your own basket, much more difficult to get it in, or take it and give yourself the full court situation. But if obviously an errant pass here results in a quick 2.
All right, here we go.
Celtics playing deny, full court. They'll have to trap the ball on the inbounds pass and foul immediately.
It comes and they throw it away. It'll be Boston ball. With 9 seconds to go, Sikma threw it away.
Wow.
The Celtics have the ball and a timeout with 9 seconds left, trailing by 2. Timeout on the floor. When we come back, we'll find out if it'll be 3-0 Boston or 2-1. Robert Parrish checking back in for the Celtics, replacing Darren Daye. Boston ball under their own hoop.
Bradley in there for defensive purposes.
9 seconds left. The Bucks lead by 2. Bird to inbounds for the Celtics.
Chances are the primary target. Parrish. Yes.
Ties it up with 7 seconds to go. Robert Parrish on the alley-oop pass from Bird. Ties it up 114 to 114.
I'll tell you, Milwaukee has not played this well going down the stretch here. There it is, the alley-oop to Robert. Catches them by surprise. They haven't gone to that play, I don't think, in this series.
No.
And it is effective for that reason, obviously. Good call by Casey. I'm still surprised that they didn't get that ball away from their own basket on that throw-in.
It surprises me that they used Sikma to inbounds rather than one of the... They had 3 small people in there, all good ball handlers and good passers. Why use a guy like Sikma to inbounds?
Well, evidently he's the best passing big man. They didn't want the Celtics to be able to interfere with the passes, so have your 7-footer take it out. Assuming you've got that kind of confidence in your passing ability. And he was tentative initially because if you notice, he went for the timeout. Yeah. He was a little nervous about it, and that worked in the Celtics' favor. They maintained the pressure, they denied outlets, and he rushed it. Now, what caused them to rush it, strangely enough, was the reason they kept it there. After a successful field goal or free throw, if you take it under your own basket, you can run that baseline. In other words, you don't have to keep the ball at the same spot. He was moving back and forth, but what caused him to then move to the left side of the basket quickly, actually, I think, also caused them to hurry the pass and throw it away.
What happened there was they swung one of the guards in out of bounds.
Exactly.
And they were like Sikma was going to pass it back to him and then get the ball in play, but they saw that wasn't going to work, so Sikma went back in the other direction.
What I'm saying, that movement, that quick movement by a 7-footer, also being careful on the pass in, caused them, I think, to throw it away. If they'd got it at half court, a little more difficult to get the pass in at half court, but nevertheless, I think it would have worked in their favor.
All right, here we go. Tied at 114 with 7 seconds left, and Sikma to inbounds for the Bucks.
This time they take it.
Comes to Pressey. Pressey takes it all away. This is the shot. Rebound, Daye. Overtime. The Bucks did not score in the final minute and 16 seconds. The Celtics come back in the final minute and 16 to tie it, and we're going to go to overtime at the end of regulation. It is the world champion Boston Celtics 114, the Milwaukee Bucks 114. Well, the Celtics outscored the Bucks 30 to 29 in the 4th quarter, and they came back from a 114 to 108 deficit with a minute and 16 seconds to play by outscoring the Bucks 6-0. Here's the last shot of the game by Pressey.
Good penetration until he gets to here. Then he wipes Bird out. No call is made. Parrish has a little trouble getting the handle. That time, however.
All right, here we go. Celtics in overtime this season, and the Bucks. The Celtics.
Nelson put Brewer in for the tip, and it works. Big guy gets it for them.
Moncrief, a little off balance, goes in. Sidney Moncrief gives the Bucks a 2-point lead. They did not score in the last minute and 16 seconds of regulation.
A lot of people.
They get the first points of the 5-minute overtime.
A lot of people in foul trouble. Cousy with 4, Sikma with 5, Brewer with 4,
Bird with 4.
Parrish
with
Bird,
4.
DJ with 4. Well, could play a role.
Milwaukee foul on Randy Brewer. And speaking of foul trouble, Brewer's just fouled out. He just picked up his 6th. And so Sikma comes in to replace him. And it'll be Boston ball on the possession foul. That's the first team foul of Milwaukee here in the overtime. Each team is allowed 3 personal fouls in the overtime before they start to get into a shooting situation. Ainge, Celtics down by 2. Celtics have played a gritty game. McHale trying to wheel in. He does for 2.
Good job again, taking advantage of Sikma's foul trouble.
25 now.
Even more of the factor now with Brewer fouling out, of course.
Sikma has 5. And McHale has just scored his 24th and 25th points of the game to tie it at 116 with just under 4 minutes to go. In the overtime, McHale blocks the shot into the hands of Robert Parrish. Fine defensive play by Kevin McHale. Been a superb ball game. These 2 Eastern Conference heavyweights slugging away at each other. McHale missed the shot.
McHale struggling.
Pressy. And now Lucas, who's hit 4 3-pointers, goes for 2, doesn't get it. Bird gets the rebound. Celtics defensive intensity in this second half has really been something.
I think McHale's hurting. I'll tell you what, the Celtics have to win this ball game because I think he's going to be awfully sore in the morning. Played a lot of minutes. Took a pounding tonight.
Parrish with a smaller man, Cummings. Parrish. Rebound slapped around. We're going to get a whistle as Ainge hits the floor, and a loose ball foul on Kevin McHale. That's 4 on McHale. Here it is.
McHale comes in from the weak side, throws himself into the pack, comes over Sikma's back. That's where the foul occurred.
1:16 apiece, 3 minutes to go in overtime. Moncrief outside. Rebound. Parrish. A foul on Sikma. He has fouled out of the ball game.
That'll hurt.
So Sikma fouls out, and he joins Randy Brewer on the Milwaukee bench. That will probably bring in Mokeski as the big man. And it'll be Boston ball on the possession foul.
Well, the same foul they got on the other end a moment ago against McHale now goes against Milwaukee.
There's Sikma with 14 points.
Sends Sikma to the bench.
Mokeski is in for the Bucks. Well, Mokeski will be given the task of trying to guard McHale. 1:16 apiece, 2:50 to go in overtime.
Mokeski doesn't have that kind of talent, but I'll tell you what, very intelligent player, a lot of experience.
Moncrief tipped the ball away, but DJ won the race for it. And now the Celtics with 5 seconds on the shot clock. They get it to Parrish, and the Celtics throw it away. 1 pass too many that time.
That time it was, yeah. The Milwaukee, good rotation in the back line there. Caused Robert to make the turnover.
All right, Lucas sits down, and Pierce is in for Milwaukee. They go to McKinney low. They're going to get a Boston foul. This one is going to go on Kevin McHale. That'll be 5 on McHale. And the second team foul on the Celtics. Mokeski has not missed a free throw so far in the playoffs.
They dropped down to trap the ball, but did it too slowly, really, to put that much pressure on the ball.
That's the first foul shot he's missed in the playoffs. He hit 7 out of 7.
And it opened up the passing opportunity to Mokeski. If you're going to trap, you got to do it aggressively. Of course, after this kind of a physical game, it's not always easy to get those defense.
This isn't both. Tell you what, Coos, we played 2 minutes and 40 seconds and have had 4 points scored in the overtime. That's it.
Very difficult for a guy to come up off the bench that way. He doesn't have a point tonight. He's only playing a few minutes and, get up to the line and make 2 crucial free throws.
McHale with Mokeski on it. 5 on the shot clock. Kevin's ball away. Doesn't go. Rebound Milwaukee. Now less than 2 minutes to go. Moncrief, beautiful move.
Good job.
Moncrief has been the only man that scored for Milwaukee here in the overtime. And that's 18 points for Moncrief. 118 to 116, the Bucks are leading. Parrish ties it up again. He tied it at the end of regulation, and he ties it again now with 1:40 to play. Ricky Pierce for the Bucks. Parrish with 18 in the game now. We're tied at 118. With a whistle and a foul. That'll be the third Celtics team foul. It's on Ainge. And it came before the shot. So it'll be a possession foul.
It is. Ainge giving him room. Doesn't quite make that lateral move. Both teams are playing a little fatigued. So that quick drive to the basket makes it difficult for the defense to adjust.
1:20 to play in overtime. Tied at 118. Pressey kicks it back to Moncrief. Now Pierce, he's been the hot man all night. Ricky Pierce puts the Bucks up by 2. 1:20 to 118. With a minute and 10 seconds to play. 27 points for Ricky Pierce. Celtics down by 2. Milwaukee with a foul to waste here in the overtime period. Ainge. Now Parrish. On the turnaround rainbow. Rebound Milwaukee. 50 seconds to go. Ahead it comes to Pierce. Milwaukee leading by 2. There's the time remaining. Upper right-hand corner of your picture. The Bucks with a 2-point lead. Mokeski. Rebound Parrish. They got a loose ball foul on the Celtics with 39 seconds to go.
Let's take another look at that one. That's kind of a surprise.
I'd like to see that one.
Here's the Mokeski jumper. No, it doesn't show up. Let's see if we can see it from this angle.
I don't know where he saw it, dude.
Obviously a big call.
Bucks missed their third consecutive free throw. 39 seconds left in overtime. Milwaukee leading by 2. The Celtics with at least one more possession. Well, the Bucks lead by 3, and the Celtics want a timeout. 39 seconds left in overtime. Milwaukee leads by 3. 121 to 118. Well, there's the story. 39 seconds left. The Bucks lead the Celtics by 3. It's Boston ball. I want to remind you that following the ball game, a late edition of the news at 10. Following the ball game, a late edition of the news at 10. We're in the first overtime period. The Celtics trail by 3. We're going to Cousy get down as quickly as possible and go for the 2 and hope to stop Milwaukee and get the ball back.
Well, see what's going to happen. Your primary option is not going to get the shot. Let's assume the Celtics are going to go to Bird, obviously, as they normally prefer to do. Milwaukee will trap immediately, so they're not going to give your primary option a shot. It requires you to swing the ball. This increases your margin of error. They have been very successful, as we pointed out, in picking up those passes on that swing. So they'll expect it, but you've got to get the ball over to the other side. You need a shooter. Ainge on the side away from the ball. So at that point, either go for the 3-pointer or the 2-pointer. They want to go to Bird inside. They'll trap him.
Milwaukee kicks it out. It'll be Boston ball. 32 seconds left in the overtime. 18 on the shot clock. The Bucks, by the way, have a foul to waste. They have a foul to waste. That's
an advantage. They can be awfully aggressive here.
There's the foul.
See, but he just gave it away. That's not that smart a play. Watch now. Moncrief just grabs him, trying to get the steal. You know, trap aggressively, try to actually come up with the ball rather than just waste the foul. Now they lose that advantage.
3-point shot. No. Rebound Milwaukee. Whistle and a Boston foul. And who is it on?
On McHale. He wiped Pressey out.
Yeah, McHale fouls out. I was surprised to see the Celtics go for a 3-point shot, too.
Yeah, and I was surprised that DJ took it. He's had an excellent shooting night. I think the defense got a hand on that shot of his. I think they had enough time to get something better than that, you know. Maybe the 3-pointer isn't bad, but make sure you get a better one without that kind of defensive pressure. I think they could have established that if, as I say, if they'd gone the bird inside as they originally intended to do. He'd have drawn the trap.
Now, Van is going after McHale. And Kevin now the Celtics coaching staff is into the stands, and Kevin is red hot. And we've got a fan going after Jimmy Rogers, another one going after Casey Jones. What's the matter with these people? I can't believe this. That is awful.
Well, they shoot themselves in soccer matches, I guess.
Unbelievable.
It's an emotional game. People do very
They're dragging the fan out. We may have this on tape and see what happens. It sprang up all of a sudden. This fan went after McHale.
I'll tell you what, they're starting to throw things at the Celtic bench, so it's getting a little ugly.
Now let's take a look at it on replay. Now there's the guy said something to Kevin. Kevin turned around and said something to him. Kevin
got him by the tie, it looks like.
And obviously he was working on McHale, and the whole thing broke out. I mean, coaches were in there, and Doc Silva was in there. And
Kevin was already upset because coming off the floor as he fouled Pressey, Bill saw the official put a hand on Kevin, and Kevin pushed his hand away aggressively. So he was upset coming off, and evidently the fan just got his attention.
Now they're really starting to throw stuff at the Celtics bench, and
they've taken him away from the bench area.
I think they should. I think they should put McHale into the locker room at this point. What do you think? I think that might be a smart move?
I don't see any security people over there.
No.
If they're going to do it, they better get some guys in blue to lead the way.
There are no police or security people in the area of the Celtics bench. And fans are throwing stuff at them. Now, apparently these guys are security people.
Well,
they're leading Kevin out.
I'll tell you, they're all guards, though. They're all Mickey Mouses. They're not built badly, but there are no NBA centers in them.
So Kevin will leave the arena. So that piece of business is quelled. We have no idea exactly what started it or who precipitated it. But Kevin will be coming through there in a moment, heading to the Celtics locker room.
So far, so good.
Kevin finished the ball game with 25 points, despite the hairline fracture that he has. And Kevin goes into the locker room, and now Pressey will shoot 2 shots for the Bucks. 24 seconds left. The Celtics trail by 3, and Pressey has 2 shots. Now, who have the Celtics put in the game?
Well, it gives them another 3-point shooter, and it would appear that that's what they're going to need.
Pressey hits the first foul shot, so Milwaukee leads by 4. And Pressey will get 1 more. But still 24 seconds to play, and in the NBA, a 4 or 5 point lead is not safe with 24 seconds. They're still giving the Celtics a hard time over there.
I don't see an accumulation of...
Robert the rebound. Celtics want a timeout, and they get it with 22 seconds left in overtime. Timeout on the floor. The Bucks lead by 4, but the Celtics have the ball, and there's still time, so don't go away. Gil Santos and Bob Cousy back here in Milwaukee. We're in overtime with 22 seconds left, and the Bucks leading by 4 points. So what's the offensive strategy here, Coos?
Well, at 22, get the 2 as quickly as you can, if possible. Again, bring it to the basket. Don't settle for the outside shot at this point, because you're going to pick up the foul. The officials are going to blow if there's any contact. So get yourself to the line with hopefully 14, 15 seconds left. Still 2 points behind. That's I would think. Three-pointer doesn't help you at this point. It still leaves you 1 behind. So get 2, and with enough time to perhaps get a steal.
Let's go to Bob Gamere over by the Celtic locker room. Bob?
All right, I just came back from behind the bench. What everybody tells me over there, the fan said to Kevin as he fouled out, he said, "Blank you, McHale." And McHale went over the bench. Simple as that. He said, "Blank you, McHale." I don't have to tell you what, and that was it. Let's go back to the play-by-play.
All right. Well, there's the story. Dennis Johnson to put it in play for the Celtics, and we have 22 seconds left to play in the game. Milwaukee leading by 4 in overtime. DJ. On the inbounds to the Chief, back to DJ. But he was stepping out of bounds, says Bill Saw, on the return pass from Robert Parrish.
You have to have both feet in. I don't know if we can take another peek at that.
Here it is.
Dennis having a little problem getting it in, as you can see. Let's see.
Oh, well, the second foot was in the air.
The foot hadn't
touched the floor yet, but it wasn't out of bounds either.
Yeah, but it's where you came from last.
Third foul Pierce with 18 seconds to go.
The fact that he hadn't established both feet on the floor means that he was still out of bounds theoretically. Good call.
The Celtics on a critical turnover.
Turnovers, Celtics not, just too careless, and Milwaukee defense. So we said on top, that's their strength. The defense has brought them to this point. They'll score, but they won't blow people out of there. The defense has carried them all season long, and certainly in this game tonight.
That's 28 points for Ricky Pierce. The Bucks lead by 5 with 18 seconds to go. And the critical turnover probably killing the last Celtics chance there. The Celtics have hurt themselves badly with turnovers in this ball game. A stretch in the second quarter and a stretch in the third, did it?
Now you need the three-pointer.
Now you need 2 of them. DJ.
Well, let's get one at a time.
Yeah, pushing it up.
Well, they're gone. He's going for the 2.
Gets 2, but with only 11 seconds to go. Mokeski gets it inbounds to Pressey. Now coming, Milwaukee leading by 4. And Moncrief is fouled by Bird with 5 seconds left. And Bird fouls out. In a long time since Larry Bird has fouled out of a playoff game. Larry fouls out with 18 points.
I'll tell you, not one of their best games, not one of their more intelligent games for the Celtics. They didn't respond to, as they say, the Milwaukee.
At times, it was a funny game. At times they did. At times they didn't.
Second quarter, right?
Second quarter,
but no consistency. Didn't respond to the Milwaukee defense. Just kind of careless. I don't know whether they figure with the 2-up lead, just don't take them that seriously. The problem now, as I say, will be developed in the morning when McHale's condition is evaluated. With a loss tonight, if Kevin is limping and Walton is out in the morning, now you've got a problem for Sunday, and you go back to Boston with the 2 out of 3 series, and again, Milwaukee has come close, point-wise both times in Boston.
5-point Milwaukee lead with 5 seconds to go. 6-point Milwaukee lead with 5 seconds to go. The Celtics take a timeout, and they've got all 3-point shooters in there, really. Vincent, Ainge, Connor Henry, Seestein, and Fred Roberts, the only one who really isn't a 3-pointer.
Their defense, Boston's defense, really didn't respond to the situation as well, because it's one thing to give Pierce that many points, because he's a scorer, he's capable. But I'll tell you what, it's tough to justify giving Lucas the breakaways. Not the 3-pointer. He made the 3-pointers, but even then, after a guy hits 1 or so, you got to adjust to that. But I'm saying a lot of his penetrating baskets, he just blew by his own man, which he's capable of doing. Yeah. But then the support defense wasn't there, and as we said on top, this was what they were going to need. They were going to need a lot of help from behind, because Milwaukee was going to take it to the basket. And Lucas does it as effectively as any man they've got out there, and we didn't respond to that either. So I'm not sure we didn't, deserve the
There were times
outcome.
There were times in this game where I thought the Celtics were just playing brilliantly, like in the second quarter. And again in the fourth quarter, especially the tail end of the fourth quarter, when they outscored Milwaukee about 6-0 in the last minute to tie the thing. But you're right, there were other stretches where they did not play the kind of defense that was necessary to win the ball game.
The thing that ensures consistency of effort, whatever it is we're talking about in the NBA, is obviously being able to go into the bench, and so that you get that kind of support by the 7, 8, 9 people. Without making excuses for the Celtics, obviously with Walton out and McHale hurting, that's you're not getting that, and then Roberts coming up with the trauma on his left leg there and not being able to continue. All of these things work against the kind of consistency you're talking about, But the point is, if you're going to win, you need it.
All right, the Celtics will inbounds. Fred Roberts will put it in play. Got Daye, Seestein, Henry, and Vincent out there. 5 seconds left. The Celtics trail by 6. Henry fires a 3-pointer. Doesn't go, but he was fouled. And Connor Henry, with 2 seconds left, will shoot 2 shots.
Henry a good shooter, but not a good free throw shooter, although it's academic at this point. There's 2 seconds left.
That devil had gone, a three-pointer, and then he gets fouled. There's the Celtic bench, obviously distraught at the turn of events here this evening.
Well, they know they know they had a shot at it, you know. And
one more free throw for Henry after he misses the first one.
Those kind of always hurt a little bit more.
Yeah, they had the shot. The overtime, this overtime has amazed me because the two teams went 2.5 minutes with 2 points each. And in the last 2.5 minutes, they went on to score 126 to 121. You know, they only ended up scoring 12-7. 12-7 was the overtime score, Milwaukee winning it. So, our final score in overtime, the Milwaukee Bucks cut the Celtic lead to 2 games to 1. 126 to 121. We'll be back to Milwaukee to wrap it up. But right now, let's go to Jack Hines and Uma Pumaraju to find out what you'll be seeing in tonight's news. Gil Santos and Bob Cousy back at the Mecca in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, where tonight the Milwaukee Bucks shaved the Celtics' lead in this Eastern semifinal series to 2 games to 1 with a 126-121 overtime win. The Bucks doing it by outscoring the Celtics 12-7 in the overtime period. The Celts had tied it with 6 straight points in the final minute and 16 seconds of regulation to come from a 114-108 deficit to tie it at 114 apiece. And I thought, Coos, with the way they came back in the final minute of regulation, that would have given them the momentum to win this thing in overtime. And I, quite frankly, was surprised that the Celtics ended up losing it in overtime.
Well, they didn't display, you know, that kind of consistency all the way throughout the game, so it's difficult to pick it up all of a sudden in the overtime. You know, defense is what separates the men from the boys generally, certainly in the playoffs. The lack of it, I thought, especially on Lucas and Pierce, hurt the Celtics, and the good positive defensive effort by Milwaukee won it for them.
The top scorers in the ball game, Coos mentioned Lucas and Pierce. John Lucas had 30 points. Ricky Pierce had 29. Sidney Moncrief had 20 for the Bucks. For the Celtics, Dennis Johnson had 32. That's a season high for Dennis. Kevin McHale at 25. Robert Parrish, 18 points and 15 rebounds. And Larry Bird had 18 points in the ball game. So the Celtics lead is down to 2-1, and now Sunday's game becomes very, very crucial for the Celtics.
Well, as I say, we'll know how crucial in the morning. If McHale, for some reason, cannot play, Danny Ainge had Dr. Tom Silver had his arm around Danny walking off. Could be a problem there as well. Walton is out. Yes, it's a crucial game.
All right, want to remind you that tonight's lucky winner is Sam Perazzo from Norwood, Massachusetts. Sam will be receiving a $200 Stop and Shop gift certificate from Stop and Shop and Channel 56. Just for entering our Dream Night contest. To all of those of you who entered, thank you very much from Channel 56 and Stop and Shop Supermarket. That's about it from here. Keep watching Channel 56 for the dates and times of any upcoming games to be telecast. For my partner, Bob Cousy, this is Gil Santos saying goodnight from the Mecca in Milwaukee. A reminder, I can be heard weekday mornings with all the latest sports news on WBZ Radio 1030. Boston Celtics basketball on Channel 56 was produced and directed by Lou Schumann with the able assistance of Barbara Bethea. Once again, our final score in overtime, the Milwaukee Bucks 126, the world champion Boston Celtics 121. Stay tuned for a late edition of the news at 10 coming up next right here on Channel 56. Good night.